All Reason No Logic, hosting King of the Hill lobbies, most Sundays. Join our Discord to be part of the action. See you in game, Commanders. Beyond All Reason fans, welcome to King of the Hill by All Reason No Logic. Experience 2 or more teams facing off in epic scale warfare, where the Horde gang up on the Kings of the Hill. Kings start off with an economic bonus. They do their best to defend an onslaught after a no-rush timer expires. Test out your micro and defend against multiple players in variations of this game mode. Or be part of the masses. Team up with your allies to topple the throne in a glorious victory. All Reason No Logic, hosting King of the Hill lobbies, most Sundays. Join our Discord to be part of the action.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, everyone. We're back. Last few weeks, big wins for the Kings in Claymore, and then jumping into our usual later in the event.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to give you a masterclass in how to kick the King's ass in Claymore.
We've not done this for a while, but we have been noticing
confidence.
that
Project confidence.
It's literally been like 6 months since I played Claymore as a peasant, I reckon.
It's easy. The 3 of us will go in one lane. We'll commie someone to 2. We'll support with tier 1, and we'll push down nice and hard.
Sounds like a plan to me. All right, Tom, are all the settings set?
Yep. We should be good to go.
Hey, Mr.
Looking
Duffy.
for 5 sacrifices as Potato makes it.
And the title is wrong on the official, but we can't change that until one of the Beyond All Reason devs rocks up.
And that is
But it does look like we do have
full team.
enough players.
Oh, I should put the
rules, and then we'll get things kicked off.
Shouldn't it?
Please do bear in mind that the rules do change a little bit from map to map. So keep that in mind.
How's everyone's weekend been? I haven't actually spoken to you guys this weekend.
I have been busy.
Actually, that's completely wrong. I did talk to you last night. I'm just on another planet. I'm on a high today. Today's been the first day I've had off since June. First day off.
We should be good to go, shouldn't we?
Yes,
I think so. And we're going to leave the bonus as is, because that's the bonus we've been using on Claymore for quite a while. And Kings have walked away with, I think, every victory for the past quite a while.
And every single name as a king there, I recognise. So OS means nothing to those guys. They know what they're doing.
Thank you, Shadow. Do appreciate that one. Let me just do a quick check on the YouTube side of things.
Please choose your starting
It looks
location.
like we are live on the YouTube. Very nice.
Hmm. This looks different. Let's take these spots, shall we?
Top side, guys. I'll go on the middle. Twig, you go on the left. Twig's going T2. Tom's going T1. We all feed Twig. Don't get more than 10 wind, Tom. Oh, there's metal all over the map now.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's energy.
That's
Interesting.
why there's so much of it. I was like, wow, that's a lot of metal, but energy makes way more sense.
Yeah.
Gonna need Joe Frost or Duffy, or I'll kill you to move. Oh no, actually, oh no, yeah, they've moved. There we go.
We are nice and spread out. Ollie, we as you can look from the stream, we do not know where you are. So we are we're running blind, and because we're in the game as peasants, we can't. No one should be able to see right now where you are. But knowing your luck, yeah, probably.
Alright, so I'll post the rules one more time. If I can find them.
So just for those tuning in, the rules are essentially stay within your triangle. That one mex on the outside is okay to take, but it isn't until the 10-minute mark passes that you can grab the ones that are in between you and the kings, or in the middle. Don't take the geo and the two mexes out in between the lanes until after you've won your lane. The big ones on this one are not using your comm to self D. Oh, sorry, to control D inside the enemy's base before 15 minutes.
Yeah, really, it's
That's a
anything
big
goes at that 15-minute mark for the comm.
Received.
yeah. Don't use structures offensively.
Received.
And that's about as far as my brain's gotten today.
Low power.
Alright, power's low.
What are you?
Unit received.
Alright. Looks like things are happening.
They are.
Unit received.
Everyone's got good on energy. Good.
Yeah, no,
Twig, you
yeah,
nearly
okay.
ready for your
Yeah, I'm just gonna do a
construct for your T2?
Do you need a constructor down there?
I've just built one and I'm reclaiming the lab.
Right.
I'll be reclaiming my lab in a sec too.
The whole team is
Trying to get us up
wasting
to
energy.
conversion.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm trying to do as well. Actually, I'm gonna even cancel this to build conversion. I'll be going T2 in about 30 seconds.
Oh my god, why am I not able to control my units in any meaningful way today?
Alright, I'm only at 11 metal per second, but I reckon I can still go T2 off that.
Yeah, go do it, because you'll get basically 1,000 each from Tom and I.
Unit received.
Alright,
Enemy commander
just
destroyed.
don't feed for a sec, I'm reclaiming my lab.
Yeah.
Enemy commander
I've already
destroyed.
fed you fully. Now, Tom, you need to give him your lab's
Enemy
worth.
commander
Yep.
self-destructed.
Ready for it. Lab. Any metal?
Unit
That'll be
received.
coming in a
Lab's not
sec.
reclaimed yet.
Friendly commander self-destructed.
There you go.
Low power.
Keep the energy coming, that's what I'm on, empty on.
Tech 2 unit ready. Your team reached Tech 2.
Right, pray you can pass this one on to Tom after you tip yourselves.
Yeah. You haven't grabbed your outside mexes, guys.
Oh, wow, how did I do that? Rookie.
Good call.
Okay, let's cancel that, get that
Where are we
going
at?
to there.
4 minutes.
Twig, do you need a third one?
Yeah, maybe not. It's alright, I can reclaim him.
Yeah, good.
That's the one that can go walk out, wander. To upgrade that one to T2.
Yeah. Tom, while you're in limbo, send me your medal. And then I'll send back to you.
If you chuck me some of those converters, I've got more
Yep.
energy than I need. Yep, it's enough.
Nice. Tank Tom here is... If you bottom out, I will give medal.
It should be good.
Yeah. Nice, we're pumping that metal now. Excellent work, guys. So
Low
now
power.
Tom and I are going to go in... I'm going to start building some defenses.
Yep.
Tom, you need to go into your T1 bulk units, and Twig needs to go into T2 units.
Do I do a fusion?
Yeah, you can do a fusion.
Friendly commander self-destructed. Low power.
Power is a problem.
Did you want these back? Greg?
Nice. What a
Alright.
good little economy we've got going. 7 minutes to go. Sorry, 3 minutes to go. Twig, you've got...
I got 40
You should
seconds
have
on the
the power
fusion.
to do that. Yeah, nice. Do you have the metal to cover that?
No. It's going to...
We send.
Yeah.
And then you guys are both going to go into T, or you're just going to do defenses, G.
So I'm going to start building some defenses. Tank Tom's going to need some defenses, but then, but mostly you guys are going to have to go units. I'm just getting a little bit of wind right now to cover my needs.
We need radar.
And then we should be, yeah.
I've got a radar up already.
My problem is going to be building the T2 lab.
Yeah. Well, I send you metal then. Get it going.
Yeah.
Yeah. Telling it now. That's actually enough. It's Perfect. All right, what do we want to go to start with?
Good question.
Okay, units are pumping. We've got 2 minutes of units.
Where's that T1 pork, Tom? Oh, like, sorry, not
on
pork.
its way up.
So
Spam.
like grunts and thugs. And...
Ah,
Ah,
yeah, it'd be
Yeah.
going into just LLTs for your defense. They're not going to have.
They may have. I can usually get a lot of stuff out by now.
Yeah.
1 minute left.
Cannot see who we're against yet. The colours are not there.
there you go. This is
We
going to
are
be
against
covered by a jammer.
Mazza. Yeah, Mazza's.
We're against Mazza? Okay.
It's Mazza, their highest skill player. It's okay.
In reality, against Mazza, as long as we don't lose, we win.
I'm pretty defended as well. So. We're ready to go in 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And we go.
Lava level dropping.
Let's see what we
Let's
got.
go.
Remember, don't waste them. We want to pick the weak spot. Coming this
Looks like
way,
all the
by the
units
looks.
are coming down on your end.
Enemy units spotted.
Sprinters.
Tech 2 unit.
Those, they're not, don't have defenses up in the middle yet.
Nice.
Come through here.
Alright, Prey, I'm giving you those units to Micro. And you...
Unit lost.
Oh no, I've clicked the
Wrong
wrong
player,
person.
wrong player.
Clicked the wrong
You
person.
fucked us.
It's too quick.
Base under attack.
Oh man, that's real bad. That's
Who is it?
Enemy commander destroyed.
Ah, that is a massive mistake by me.
yep.
That's right, I got his conversion at least. Some of.
Unit received.
Alright, whoops, that was so unco by me.
So, ladies and gentlemen, beware of that sort of thing. Just pull back, Tom. You're not going to punch through that
Yeah.
anytime soon.
Alright.
Okay, now that that's happened, I reckon I'll take this and get myself up to fusion.
Interesting. Solars as defenses. We can expand out and get those mexes and geos and stuff.
Yep.
units under attack.
Let's attack. Guys, you ready to push?
One king's fallen.
Unit
No peasants have fallen.
Push, guys. I'm in.
Yeah, come on. He's got T2 pork in here, so if you can get
Let's
in,
get that com.
things will shoot and go boom.
I got the com.
Nice.
That means we're going to be in.
Use those gunslingers to kill the build power if you can.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and
I
get
know
around.
they've got the yeah, nice.
Yeah, just try and get the
Spoilers
build power.
are in fact allowed.
Always been allowed. I always build LLT all the way around my base because of them.
Yes. Yes.
Damn. Didn't quite get
Okay,
enough.
build up. We can't break that.
Yeah.
With slow firepower.
We're going to have to start protecting on our side, or my side shortly,
Oh yeah.
because
Why
this
is-
lane's
oh,
fallen.
Yeah, but they haven't beaten their whole thing, so we're fine for now.
I still got the other side break.
Yeah.
It is 14 minutes.
And we
just
got
FYI.
some T2 artillery
Alright,
that
you
we
ready,
can get up.
Twig?
Yeah, I am ready.
Oh no, not yet. Not yet. Wait for those gunslingers to get closer.
See if we can just
Go,
do
go,
the damage.
go, go. Build power key.
Yeah, we can get that build. Oh, I'll get the converters in at the back. He loses his metal.
loss.
Got half the build power. We got all the build power. We're good.
Alright, now it's just long range. Okay, I'll get some long range stuff. I've got a fat boy.
All right.
I just need to get one sniper
Convert
up there.
to yeah. Oh, nice, Tom. Not quite. Yeah, let's go. Let's get it. Each one of those defenses that falls will be not enough. That's right. Just stop sending for
Yeah.
the moment.
These are all just going to park up here for a sec.
Fat boy's here.
Nice.
Time for... Oh, damn.
Amazing how much those are holding back.
Okay, let's push in again. Let's go.
6.
Get that. Get that. That's it.
Nah, you got in range of the
Other one.
scorpions, Twig.
Here you go, Twig. Enjoy.
All you gotta do is knock down those LLTs, and we got this.
Snipers. Coming up now.
Low power.
This has been a fairly even battle so far.
Yeah, Maz has done really well. Get ready from your right.
Oh, I mean like across the map as well.
So the key is that we don't go king.
I mean, we're just... there's a build order to this map. If you play the build order, you'll probably win.
Commander taking heavy damage.
Just need to kill that one bloody scorpion.
To kill the Scorpion, we have to kill the Twin Guards, which is what I've been saying for quite a while.
Alright, I'll get the scorpion now. I've got a sniper there. Just wait for it to be done. And we're good.
Friendly commander.
Hey, look, we killed the... I managed to kill the one thing that I said we needed to kill, and then the Scorpion died.
Now don't kill the
Tank Tom, you expanded too early. We had not won our lane. You were not allowed to take those mexes.
Ah, yeah.
Tisk. Alright, we're just going to res bots now.
Then just get rid of them.
Unit received.
Alright, pray you can go micro all this stuff here. Apart from that commander, which I want back. Thanks.
Unit received.
He's got
Who's
one
left?
thing left there.
Small and Ollie.
Tech 3 unit detected.
What's
Oh wow, they
something
got some
sneaky?
pork.
Yeah,
They
Ollie's
got some pork.
You can probably go harassing with those fat boys against that pork.
Yep.
Thinking, why don't we just bomb him?
Ah, that'd be a bit mean, don't you reckon? Send me metal for the fusion, Twig. Thank you.
All together?
We're not gonna punch through with that many. That is a lot of beamer. We must siege. Ah, the back end's gonna go down though.
Much closer one. Yeah, Duffy's got 2 acres.
Oh man, you got the fusion? That's bullshit.
Loss.
You are more than welcome to have it, but I don't think it's going to get any use.
Oh dear.
Who was the last one left? We got T3. Get him.
Small holding strong. I love the T1 RT out of Psycho. That is actually doing a lot. Do they outrun the Scorpions as well? Don't know.
Nicely done.
There you go, Kings can
Well played.
lose.
I feel like that was probably one of our best.
Classic full Aussie
Setups.
team. Yes. Yes, it is. It is powerful.
Nicely done to the peasants. Their first win in a couple months on Claymore. Now we have quite a few in the
At the
queue.
end
Let's
of the
get
day,
over
it
to
just means
Throne.
that we're still undefeated. Undefeated on Claymore.
AllReasonNoLogic.
It's almost like we start with this one to get our energy up or something.
Put you in a good mood with a win.
Yeah. Good
We do not have anyone in here
Dorian?
that can make it bigger yet, do we?
Oh no. This is where Praedyth needs actual mod powers.
Do we want to go to a throne or run another one of these?
We can do another one of these until we got maybe we just have to step out and cast one so a few more players can play.
Yeah, I reckon we look at doing that.
I reckon we can do that.
I'll ping
Since
the
we're a little
official.
bit low on people, we'd just request that anyone who's willing to rotate out would do so. so that everyone can have a go.
Jump over and
All right, 5 new kings. Jump on down there.
Yeah. We're also looking for anyone that played in that game to just rotate out into spec or into the queue, so that we can, so the people who didn't get a chance to play in that first one can play in the next one.
Classic asking Koth on Hooked next. We do that Wednesdays. That's not really Koth, it's just free for all. Oh, asking Twig and Praedyth, what's up? There we go. I was here. Let's go to Throne.
Flow's changed up. All right, in that case, we'll just swap us out and put us onto Throne.
So people, you can jump back in now if you want.
The queue should start sucking people in, shouldn't it?
Because
The
Tom's
queue
just
is...
applied something to it, it'll lag
yep.
now.
That's just a welcome message.
As the event
Oh,
preset.
no, so Flow needs to change it to an event, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go. Looks like that's happened.
It'll reset everything again.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's just a copy and a paste.
Yeah. That's the bit where it breaks everything.
Yeah, sorry, people jump back in. Just move yourselves around. That was Small, Ollie, Mazza, and can't remember the other two. Can avoid king this game, that would be good. Unless no one else goes down there.
Go through and reset all that bit.
Also, just a warning ahead of time. I've got a hard cutoff tonight, which means that we'll be transferring the stream over to Twig and Tank Tom on AllReasonNoLogic, either at the end of this game or the next one, depending on the length of this one.
Yeah, Jalio says just say their name and they appear, directed at Flow. There's a sixth sense.
The secret is we have to say it 3 times between us.
G'day, Black Death.
There we go. That should be all our settings.
All right, we need at least 2 more kings. This number on Throne. And we will appropriately bump up the bonus if needed. I'd love to see Meloday Classic go down there. So if you go king as on Claymore like that we saw last map, I didn't obviously get to see what they all did, but you really want to go in somewhere between 20 to 35 wind before going T2. Make sure that you got conversion on repeat out of at least a constructor or two, and I'd like to get, I think it was 7 or 8 build power by the time my T2 is up and I'm building a fusion. Follow that rough build order, you should be able to have at least 10 T2 units and spam coming out by the 10-minute mark, and plenty of beamers and LLTs.
Is this as a king?
Yeah, if you're king.
Yeah. So I go with a wind amount. If the wind is looking approximately like middling, I'm aiming for 500 energy income a second, and then I go T2, regardless of how much wind that is. That's the go-to for me. And then some of the really important thing is your reclaim tech. Reclaiming your T1 lab makes a huge difference in getting your T2 lab. Reclaiming your metal storage and a couple of your builders helps as well. And then once you've got your fusion, reclaiming some of your wind in order to get that army is pretty important too. And when you want to get your fusion, you reclaim your T2 lab, that sort of thing. It makes everything possible.
Or Flo, can we get another 10 on the unit player limit? And that would probably fill out very nicely. I swear, spider sense, like, come on. Instantly happens. All right, do we want to do, I think we want to just do the 4 kings on this one. So we've already got Orat, Jim Jace, Watch Behind, and Solus. Everyone else jump up
I
to
think we give
10.
them a bit more of a bonus
we
than
will.
50.
We'll be going up to 70, and everyone else team 1.
Yeah.
So the tricky thing when you do 4, it's the way we used to do Throne as well. We do it if we've got less than 40 players. We have those kings that are on the wings. They are also responsible to defend those ramps. Typically, anyway.
Just based on how quickly the lobby's filling, I think we might end up with 7 kings.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, let's just leave spirits down there.
You're already up to. So 30 to 35 is anything less than 35 is 4 kings. Going beyond that, and we'll do 7. I think that's the cutoff.
All right. 2 more kings down there. 2 more down there.
What bonus you're looking at giving them with the
55?
7?
Actually, with Classic and Maladay up there, maybe 57.
And after you.
60.
60 it is.
All right, 2 more kings.
Two more kings. 2 more kings. There we go. Thank you, Cora. Thank you, Scrooge. Just about ready to kick this one off.
Just give me 1 second.
Hey, 2 Bumps. He's going to come join us soon. Feel free to jump into the casting couch and say g'day.
Just consulting with our resident balance professional.
What is going on? There's so many.
All right, let's.
I'm just sorting IDs at the moment.
Yeah.
Okay, Blood Angel's asking, why do some people have plus 60? It is because they are the kings, and it is them versus everybody else.
That is correct. G'day, Nightmare. I see you up there.
Okay, I think we're good.
All right, I'm going to post the
All right,
rules,
let's do
even though
a-
they're there. You got the tremors and arbiters applied, Tom?
Looks like
Yes.
they are.
Screw said, why not add Legion? We usually open the games up to the extra teams and the extra units towards the end of the night.
Yep.
Probably 3 more games we'll do at least.
We've also noticed that Legion is
It just wins.
very favorable in King of the Hill for for the kings in particular.
44
I'm
verse
going to
7.
spec tomato paste, and we will get ourselves underway.
Got
Yep.
one download going still.
Yeah.
Looks like that one is gone. Let's go.
Sorry guys, just jump in on the next one.
Oh, that is interesting. It didn't snap me in because I've changed my settings to not be snapped in when the game starts.
Is this where you can wait? Has
Things
it
we
broken?
need.
What happened?
Hey Stuart, this is King of the Hill. The lobbies can get even bigger than this one. I think we've had 109 players versus 9 before.
More. I think we broke it recently. It got up to 125. The devs game, 125 players. If you want to see that replay as well, it's on the YouTube.
What is that?
That was my bad.
Did you force start as well?
Yeah. 2 force starts in
Yep.
the menu leads to that happening.
Hey, we did it on purpose to let those players that were downloading the map back in. Never apologize.
All right. If everyone ready's up again, then we should be good to go.
Yep. Looks like everyone has readied up. I won't do the force
Away
start
we go.
this time. There
Hang
we
on,
go.
too many kings, too many kings. Blood Angel,
Yep.
don't play with the teams.
There we go.
All right, people, make this one's a good one, and it will come up on the replays on our YouTube.
Correct.
All right, taking that middle position.
And just make sure we post those rules in all chat for everyone, or in everyone chat.
Yeah, I'll do
so
that.
People know, and then we'll also chuck the links to the Discord if you want to join up and coordinate. Canal, you may not want to spawn up the top.
Yeah.
If you spawn up there, then you will get
removed from the game. those tuning in that haven't played before. Not that there's that many of you, because most of these people know about King of the Hill now. Seeing a lot of familiar names every week. 10-minute no rush timer. No offensive structures, so no EMPing or journaling the enemy's base, but you can use them defensively. Use them on the ramps. It's a safe spot. Use them in your own base if you want to. And on this map throne, we have turned off the arbiters, the missile units up until T3, and we've turned off the tremor as well, because we just find you can park those units around these cliffs and kings have no chance. Even the T1 hover rocket manages to do too much damage.
It can be utterly devastating.
Correct. Something to bear in mind, if you do get attacked very early on by something like a catapult or a vanguard, I would highly recommend something like a catalyst as a decent way of dealing with it.
Yeah.
They do work very, very well for early defensive players, but they are also quite expensive, so it's just one of your many options.
Yeah. Even just like a persecutor, something like that. Using them
Persecutors do pretty well too.
Yeah, defensively against catapults. They take them out.
But the reality is,
the best way to beat them, just win. Just hold the ground so that they can't get that close to your base.
Essentially, whoever is controlling most of the tier that's currently lava and won't be lava at 10 minutes will be in the best position to defend themselves. Because if they can't push through that middle tier to get to you, then they can't shell you. There are some exceptions to that. For example, right on the edges here, about there is the outside range of a catapult and a vanguard to just tip over the edge. So that can be done. But even then, if you do control this area, it's still hard for them to do anything about it.
Got Stuart Williamson in the Twitch asking about the game. So he's not played much RTS since Warcraft 3, Beyond a Reason. Spiritual successor of Total Annihilation, game from 1997. The first PC game I ever played. I was addicted. My brother loved it too, except he had to always sit on the chair next to the computer because I had full control. He wasn't allowed to play because I was greedy. And yeah, when I saw this game came out in, I think I heard about it in 2022. I've just been addicted ever since. We are here every Sunday doing King of the Hill.
And for those of you interested, Bob is in fact playing tonight, which is very nice for us.
Good to see
Bob is our resident balance expert.
Yep. So if there are any balance issues, complain to Bob.
No, complain to us and we'll pass it along to Bob.
Interesting bugs with this new energy cloud. They hover. Is that a bug or is it meant to hover all the way on top of the Are you guys getting that as well?
I think that's probably because it's set to the height that it should be,
as
compared to set to the height that we've modified the map to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because you'll notice it's even higher at the top as well, but it's totally fine around the area that's normally going to be. So I think it's set to the default. It pulls the information from the base map before the modifications that change how terrain work. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're going to force start this one in about 10 seconds. And we'll give it a good old start. There will be a comm that I reckon will spawn in the middle of the map because we do have one red dot. So if the mods can be ready to deal with that when it happens.
All right, let's get that force start happening. And it's only going to be Prey that applies it.
So I don't know if the tweak will work. You guys forgot to force land all units. Toggle the reclaim field highlight settings to see their highlighted fields.
the issue?
You should only be excluding some units rather than trying to add anything extra in, so we should be fine.
Okay, yep. All right, let's kick this one off and see what happens. I will force start this one. In 3, 2, 1. Oops, that was... No, it should have been. G'day everyone and welcome to King of the Hill. You're joining us on Throne with the Lava modifications, where we have ourselves a lovely 7 kings in the middle and 42 peasants around the outside. Quick update on the rules. We do have a plus 60 bonus for the kings, which gives them a chance to scale. No offensive structures. A couple of unit modifications such as no air, no LRPC equivalents, and we've turned off T2 and T1.5 missile units just so the kings have a chance on this one. Other than that, at 10 minutes the lava will drop and the game will be on. Joining me in the casting booth is Twig and Tank Tom. And around the map we have many all-stars and many well-known players joining us tonight, so hopefully it'll be a good one.
Yeah, slightly less peasants than we've seen in previous games of Throne at, 40 something. But we do have a few names up here on the hill that I haven't seen before. So we have bumped their bonus up by an extra 10% from the standard 50 for kings on this map. So rounding out at 60% bonus means that they should be able to get up quite a decent economy by that 10-minute mark. We just hope they know the meta for these positions, which typically we see these wings going into a lot of units before that 10-minute mark and some T2 economy, and also defending along these hills so we don't see the spiders climb up over these hills. Then we got these 3 entrances that Spirits, Korra and Watch Behind are on. They got to defend. They're going to get hit first by ticks, by T1 units, maybe by the odd T2 unit, and we have seen in some games the odd T3 unit at the 10-minute mark out of the peasants. That's nasty when that happens. And then we've got the eco position up here. Orat Tab might even get an APHIS up by the 10-minute mark with the 60% bonus. We'll see how he goes.
Just talking quickly about the meta in general to defend these positions, you want to have a series of T1 defenses. Beamers are particularly good, Twin Guards are fine, and then a few pop-ups. You also want a little bit of T2 punch, so a couple of the T2 pop-ups, maybe 1 or 2 of the T2 artilleries should be enough to hold, and then just use walls to your advantage to keep the space nice and dealt with. If you don't get enough, these positions can break very quickly, because if peasants get aggressive in T1, you can see hundreds of tanks coming at you at that 10-minute mark. In these wings positions, try to keep your stuff away from the edge as much as possible, because spiders can pop over and do a lot of damage. It's also the place that the artillery is going to hit first. Just remember that even if the enemy can't see, they know where your mexes are going to be, and they can guess where the rest of your stuff is probably going to be, so move it back in as far as you can. Your bare minimum to be effective is to have a T2 and a fusion up by that 10-minute mark, though preferably significantly more. We've seen plenty of builds that can get 2 to 3 out, no problem whatsoever. Around the outside, the meta continues to be a very nice amount of co-op, where you can see Chronographer and Mazza on the right-hand side. On the bottom right, we have Small, IB, Sleepy, Scarve as well. Looks like a little bit less co-op on the left-hand side. Top of the map, though, this is the corner to be absolutely terrified of. Classic Thule, and I do believe that we also had Maladay up here as well, which means that's going to be a nice, scary lane to deal with. But we're not going to discount the Newt clan, J Frost and I Kill You for fun. These guys have absolutely dominated a few of the games in the past. They might not always put the flashiest of plays in, but the consistent pressure and the unbreakable nature of their corner tends to absolutely destroy. One day I want to throw Chronographer at them as well, so that we see all of those lovely little EMP bots, the rolling bombs, the commandos, all that sort of thing. The things that he is absolutely best in up in that corner.
Yeah, Chronographer going for those kind of players that you don't see as much in these games, the unthought of ones, the ones that are a little bit undefended from. Do want to look down bottom right as well. We're going to check back in here. We've got Duffy going into just a solo position, someone that really does get the economy going up just by buying T2 and really going into the right amount of build power and spreading out wind production throughout the base there. So going to have quite a good base based on what I've seen in previous weeks, despite only going at this solo. So this is what you want to strive for if you are another player just playing by yourself in a position without many mechs.
We've also got Bob sitting in the very bottom of the map. I know this is their first game today after a bit of a nap, so we'll see how they run.
I'm seeing
and being in that outside, being in the outer sea, the dry sea, great place to start. If you're not particularly familiar, it's all about scaling that economy and coming online later. If you do see an area in front of you falling, then push those units out as quickly as you can to help, because if the guys in front of you fall, you definitely will. But otherwise, you're free to just to scale and be that force multiplier that ends the game after the 25-30 minute mark.
Let's look back in the middle. We've got very standard builds. Alright, going into the first fusion. It's almost coming up. We've got T2 mexes being upgraded for most players, but then unfortunately some of the bases, not where I'd want to see them. There's a lot of economy coming out of Spears. So that's Spears, defending with some walls, but you really want to get that T2 happening. You want to get those mexes upgraded. Having been gifted a T2 constructor now, we should see them come up, but it is almost the 7-minute mark, so by the time this one constructor walks all the way across, I reckon it's going to be a little bit lacking here in terms of defenses. Similarly, watch behind, building economy right up onto this ramp. This will get flooded by T1 at the 10-minute mark, so you're going to have to make sure get over there for some defenses and going into enough build power to probably fund an APHIS from what I'm seeing in the left-hand
Real
side
lack
there.
of defenses on his ramp though.
Yeah, I don't start my defenses till 8 minutes anyway. The issue that I'm seeing is the lack of build power where the defenses need to be put up.
Yeah. Going into what we've seen from Korra on the right, a little bit more what you'd see. Going into the gauntlets, you don't see these that often. Not bad. Like if you get to the sniper stage of the game, they're going to do quite well if you manual fire them. If they don't target the spam, they do have a problem though when you just get spam in the base. Any artillery ends up doing just as much damage to your own stuff.
Ooh, yeah.
One of the important things if you're on these if you're on these ramp positions, is to try and get at least a fusion down. It makes it incredibly difficult to hold these ramps if you don't have that bonus income, because you only have a handful of mexes to be running off of. If you don't build any defenses till about the 8-minute mark, you'll notice that just the metal up the front here, so the T1 lab is 500, the 2 gauntlets is another, brings you up to 2,400. You're almost at that you're almost halfway to the fusion. Throw in those LLTs and the metal in the bank, and you actually have that fusion already. That leaves you 2 minutes to get all these defenses up, and with the bonus income from that fusion, it's going to make a big difference, because a fusion doesn't just grant you plus 10 metal, it actually grants you closer to plus 30 metal when you're on a 60% bonus, which means that we'd be seeing a nice increase of around about 30% of the income just from that one little move, and it wouldn't affect your ability by that 10-minute mark to defend.
Big food for on that one there. I just jumping back over to watch behind. They might actually get this APHIS up with time to spare. And they've started reclaiming stuff on the front line there to make way for defenses. But yeah, what you said before, not enough defenses here. Sorry, not enough build power here. Going for the Control D on those converters to clear up that space. Reclaim all those wins, get the bonus on them. That's totally fine. Part of your standard build.
No, reclaim the lab. The lab is enough metal to get the APHIS up.
I do like to see that the T2 constructor was built to get some of those T2 defenses up in front.
But again, the build power just
pretty
isn't
late
there to force it out quickly. With a minute to go, I think the most we'll see up is about 5 beamers and 2 T2 defenses at that 10-minute mark. But he only has to defend against 4 stouts and 11 maces. So risks like this
That's
are
true.
part of part of the balance of King of the Hill. If the peasants do not aggress, the kings are free to do as they please, and they will win. There is no bonus that exists that we could give them that will prevent them from winning if you let them scale without having to build defenses. The most recent Kings game that I played was on Raptor Crater, and because I didn't have to build units, I managed to get myself up to a 20 APHIS economy by about the 18-minute mark.
Here goes the lava,
That's
and
10
the
minutes.
economy is actually not looking too bad for the Kings. At about that 60% metal deficit from the peasants, which is totally normal when you got 40 more players on that team. Many more T2 units coming out of the Kings than we have coming out of the peasants, but there is a T3 lab being built in the top right out of the nuke clan, so watch that in a minute once that's up. It's going to be interesting.
Very nicely done. Only 100 units on the map total at the moment, 137 now. So not going to be a massively aggressive 10-minute start, which
Let's watch
is a
on the
really
left.
big bonus for the Kings.
Got some spiders lining up over here out of Jim Jace. Rather than being aggressed by spiders, he's sending them out. Hopefully we see them crest over the edge. There we go. So commander there
That comm
inside.
needs to get invisible.
Yeah. You might get
Does
some
not
D
look like
guns
it's
off.
going to. A couple of D guns, but plenty of those spiders are getting across the way. And there goes
it goes
the
down.
comm, and those spiders are going to be unchecked. This is where the players above and the players below need to immediately get onto the units and just clean this up, because those spiders will be able to do a lot of damage, but only if they are left unchecked. Imperator is trying to deal with them now, manages to degun one of them, but 3 of them still waddling around. They are a bit faster than that comm. So no worries there. I do love the spider aggression, though. It's a very quick way to get units to the peasants, and if they have over-ecoed, they have really good range, really good skirmish capabilities, and they can attack from all the angles you don't expect. So it means that anyone who hasn't invested in those units is going to be in trouble.
Yeah.
Pulsar doing a good job of cleaning them up, though.
And some more coming over the north. But what is happening with all this micro is not getting enough build power in the base, and we've got 6,000 metal in the bank right now for Jim Jace, overflowing to the rest of the team, and 3 of the Kings are maxed out on metal. You want to spend that, get that build power happening, guys. Get T3 lab up
Now,
if you need to spend it.
Talking about the economy scaling, watch behind, because they were not aggressed at the front. Has managed to go into 2 APHIS already by the 12-minute mark. They're sitting at a 200 metal income, which means that they're going to have the metal to scale while building units, which they shouldn't be allowed to have. This front was very, very crushable, but unfortunately with little to no units out, the Kings are in a very good position to scale from here.
I do like the mammies being pushed out here. I played a game the other day, getting a mammy out early just meant walking through the base of the enemy, because T1 just do not kill them fast enough unless you get a commander there. That's so good. They are so bulky. Mammoths almost can take on a Razorback one-on-one.
I think they do take on a Razorback one-on-one.
I think they lose with the Razorback having like 10% of its health left, something like that. I can't remember. We did.
There you
test
go,
this
metal
a long
for
time
metal
ago.
though. That's a great trade.
Oh, such a good trade. In fact, that's a win. It's a win so long as that Razorback doesn't get healed. Not looking too bad out of all these guys. A bit of a push on the right. I am waiting to see some T3 come over the hill from I Kill You For Fun, who has that first T3 unit out on the field. Yeah, catapult.
And this is where things get really dangerous. These Kings have done a really good job so far of getting aggressive and being greedy, essentially, to take advantage of the slightly lower number of peasant players. But that means that a lot of them have not pulled their economies back, which means things like using that catapult to target fire the top of the cliff, so you just pop an attack command right there. It will overspill into the base, and there is plenty of damage to be done, and not a lot that can push out to take it at the moment, so hopefully we see a bit of damage there. Peasants with good control around the outside, but these mammoths are really waging war over here. The peasants are really going to need to deal with them somehow. With the spam there, it's going to be difficult to degun them as well. So we're going to have to see some good plays here. The artillery is a good call. The pulsars are a good call. But without the spam and without the vision, it's going to be of a limited effect at the moment.
Yeah, Jim Joe's just putting that AFIS down right near the edge there. That's going to be a real target in the future. If you're on the wing, you want to be building it up here, right adjacent where Watch Behind's got their economy. What do we got over here? What was shooting up over the hill? Oh, the Sheldons. Sheldon's taking out those higher point beamers that have been built right on the edge of the hill. I do like that. I didn't even know they fit up there. And we do have Sheevers coming down south.
I'm not surprised you can get beamers up as well.
Yeah. I Kill You for Fun has that catapult, but it's not being used at the moment. They're quite hard to shoot over the edge. What you want to do is just aim for the tip of the cliff, and it will shoot up and over. You want to make sure that if you've got T3, you're always using it.
I feel like the Kings are going to start to struggle soon just because they haven't taken control of this second tier of the map. They have it on that sort of top left side, but nowhere else, which means that the peasants are going to have a good staging ground to start firing up.
They have brought the economy right in as
scaling
well.
Economy though.
Yeah, their economy is almost neck and neck on metal. It's only 5% behind, which is really good for only 15 minutes into the game.
Usually we see the economies evening out at about 20 minutes.
We've got a bunch of marauders that are blocked in here. What you want to do, just reclaim the twin guards.
It is very hard for another player to shoot through defenses, but yes, there definitely does need to be at least some gaps available for units to get out.
The catapult is shooting over.
These marauders are going to be doing a lot of damage when they come out, whether they go for Team Newt or whether they go for the beamer defense of Corpse. They are going to absolutely churn through because that is a nice solid 39 of them. And they're going to be backed up by some Karganeths and some Vanguards as well. So even if they only break the front and the units, they're going to leave a lot of... they still can't get out.
This is just terrible.
Oh dear.
Just shoot them. Honestly, you can shoot something like this. You're not going to get in trouble for it.
Termites on the left wing, they are going for that APHIS, but unfortunately they weren't able to all come up at the same time. So that Pulsar has taken a massive toll on them. And they're just coming in at piecemeal at the moment, so they're just not getting the damage to outdo the construction turrets. In this situation, make sure you attack the converters, not the APHIS, because the converters go down super easily. And that there is no doubt in my mind, you would have been able to get those converters and then get the APHIS if you'd gone converter first.
Yeah,
Marauders online in the top right hand side, shutting down Classics Vanguards. Does look like we do have some comms getting ready to try and deal with this. This is going to be a good amount of D-gun right there, but unfortunately quick reactions out of Oratab, grabbing himself a good amount of the those Marauders still alive, and it is Vanguards now into Razorbacks. We do have some repairs going on that Razorback though, so he should get a good amount of damage done before going down, but it is just not enough. Corpse in the way. Another lane blocking moment. They cannot go up, which is going to give just enough time, and Megax might just be able to clean these one up. He's up with the comm, 3 more down with the D-gun, and that has protected, that one corpse has protected Maladay's base, but the Marauders are now outside of the map, and they do have some free range just to walk around right now, and it does look like the Mammoth push has started to break out over here on the left hand, just below that as well. So this is the top left hand side is in some real danger right now with the fall just there. The economy that the Kings were able to push out has made a huge amount of difference here.
Yikes, I actually thought the peasants had this one, but it's looking good. If that APHIS went down out of Jim Jace, that's where a lot of those Marauders came from. We might have seen a different result with that push on the left there, but these Kargis are really going to just completely wipe this base. This is nothing. There's nothing in the way of this.
Just having a quick look at that base setup from Jim Jazz, that would also take out all of Watch Behind's economy as well.
Yeah, that's all it takes. And still, even the way it is now, Termites, you only probably need 3 to crest that hill there, and the conversion will pop. Yeah. Anyway.
But unfortunately, a lot of those units are now going to have to be used for defense because they're going to have to try and deal with all the units coming around the map. Someone should be pinging Tedster in the bottom hand side, who's got 3 fusions up at the moment. He's going to need some defenses to deal with this. A spam line to give vision, and then snipers will do absolutely phenomenally against those Marauders.
Yeah, they would. There are catapults on the south of the map here, so we've spotted... Oh, we've got a in-call game aim here. That is exactly where you want to aim, because the termites did spot everything.
Yep.
If those catapults shoot up and over, that's going to be amazing. Yeah, we've got our queue there.
We do have a large number of those termites trying to come up that cliff there, but unfortunately this time it is a little bit too late with all of those marauders, with all of those centurions, and the overwatchers there. Plenty of units to take care of this, and these catapults really do. They have to get that fight. They're not set to fire on the cliff. They are firing at random units.
That's a way.
But it did.
Is enough.
It still got it. It
Oh,
still got it.
It got
A
it.
single rocket was enough to pop
So
all
that
that
just
conversion
knocked-
and build power.
That just knocked about 25% of the King's economy down.
Right side over
does-
here as well.
It does
Cargillus
look like
coming up
though
over the side.
the bottom left has not reacted quickly enough to these marauders, and they are powering on through. Unfortunately, Tedster only just getting the snipers now, and without the spam line, these are going to be firing at things like ticks. Got to be manual firing them and pulling them back, not forwards. But unfortunately, not enough units have come out, which means these marauders are going to clean up, I reckon, this entire corner now, which is a that is a really big problem for the peasants. That these are going to be unchecked.
Keep on rolling around at that point.
All the players that are adjacent this area need to just clean this up and then go for the block up where Yuka's base is, and there's their commander, so that's another big economy going down for the peasants. We did see Scrooge's economy completely go pop. Chronographer, and I think it might have been Duffy, managed to shoot up and over and kill a lot of that. So there are now 2 king bases that need to not reset, but need to build back up again to get to the level they were. These are vanguards on the left, and the Kargis. These are going to hurt. Kargis actually go alright against the spam as well, because those missiles do track and they hit almost every single shot.
But the spam is in and amongst the vanguards, and spam is one of the best things against them. So, unfortunately, though, as you said, those Kargis are doing a great job of cleaning them up. So even though all that spam got where it needed to be, without the other units that... Oh, no. Non-invisible comm. Clearing out a bunch of the defenses every week.
Nigerian's comm's actually walking away. You need to walk
up
it towards what is happening. We still have the right, definitely in the favour of the peasants. We do have a couple catapults here shooting up over the hill. Are they getting their shots off? They are being controlled by the gamer. There we go. We do have a commander here, 2 catapult volleys. They're going to do a bit of damage to that commander, taking off about 20%. They are taking out the pork though. That's what's really important, but there are a lot of T3 coming out of the middle. Orat's really come online now.
The peasants need to work together to break this, because if they do, they'll be in a great position. They're currently doubling the king's economy, which means that but army value is approximately equal. Unfortunately for peasants, equal army value is not a good thing, because it means that it is spread out. So as you can see, all of these Karganeths are piling in one spot, but they only have limited amounts of stuff to defend with. Thankfully, a decent D-gun and some good volleys out of the catapults. Walking forward, though, not what you want to do with the catapults. Thankfully, just enough fire to break most of these Kargis.
Keep the catapults
and
back.
Snipers now coming to help clean them up too.
They've only got about 6,000
health. You can understand
health.
keeping them there. The catapults are much easier to replace and the build power behind them.
That is true. That is very true. But with the Shivas there, the Shivas should tank enough of this now. And very good amount of reclaim here. My big recommendation would be rezzing those catapults and reclaiming the Karganeths. Though if you don't reclaim the Karganeths, just from the spamming that's been going up here, there are probably plenty of entrances. Demon into the map. It is firing on... Oh,
So cool.
it got
so
terrain
close.
blocked for a few seconds. That few seconds would have actually killed the...
Oh, but the catapults.
This is
fusion,
likely
but
to
the
There we
catapults
go.
pop it though.
Nice.
Very nice. Shields are good, but spam walls are just as important.
This is turning into one of those games where you just don't know where it's going to be. in a couple minutes. Are these units on the left going to wrap
falls
around,
fast.
or are the peasants going to manage to break this right hand side and get in? If I was Ora, I'd be going into defensive, just stopping this fall and allowing Watch Behind and Jim Jace to wrap around the map with all these Rauders, Mammoths,
These
and
demons are
spam.
doing a good job of wiping out this defense that's here.
Oh, look,
Between those and the
demons are
catapults.
High DPS.
demons are incredibly strong. They always have been in Kings because they're usually fighting. Usually, by the time you have demons, the other player is getting up things
gonna
that
stop
count
the spam?
demons, like stronger T2. Oh, sorry, stronger T3.
Spam is in.
Bets.
With
Nothing's
that
going
right side completely falling.
Titan doesn't
This
beat
Look,
spam
Titan's
is gonna
doing
make it
okay.
land.
Spam's coming. Beamers, pulsars are coming up. Build power can reclaim. Does look like it is just enough to push this back, but vision has now been gained, which means that those catapults can fire. Look at what I mean. Look at the catapults already set to fire up there. All they have to do is clear out that Titan, and it should get a big boom up. This is where players like this is where experienced King of the Hill players will start focusing their defense on the back half of the map. They know that they don't have long to stay alive if this middle goes. No entrance is allowed to fall in King of the Hill if you want the team to live.
so close to those Avis going, probably a couple more catapult volleys, but they're going down. The laser towers do too much damage.
Nicely,
Just the
nicely
one
done.
pulsar left
That
over there.
Vanguard gonna get in range.
Oh, Com goes pop on the north, and now Solus is just down to a T3 lab with all these Cargonaths coming over the edge here. The spam's going
These
to have to...
Kargis,
Great pressure.
these Kargis are going to clean up a lot of that spam. They're going to clean up a lot of the Vanguards. There really needs to be more pressure put over here. I know that the attack feels like it's very important right now, but with army values being so
Surviving
close
is
together,
more
you cannot allow the back half of the map to fall. And just taking a moment to reconsolidate will give the Kings the opportunity to get back into this one. They have plenty of reclaim up here to rescale. Just the amount of energy they're producing means that they can massively run off of reclaim for a little while. But unfortunately, the attack seems to be petering out because
so close to dying. 2 more volleys and they're dead, I reckon.
one of the things, this might be a little bit controversial. There's a lot of the build power being used to repair these APHIS. I would send it onto the lab because units preventing those APHIS from taking damage is more important than healing them. Because once the damage rains in, there will be too much that any amount of healing will really matter.
And there you go, the last of the pulses. So now it's the
At this
the
point,
next
you're
thing to
almost
die is
better
the
off
APHIS.
using that build power to reclaim rather than repair.
I'd be sending
You're
Spear's
playing the last-
Spear's commander straight into the army there just for the control D. That is Orat down. So just like that, as the peasants were looking, sorry, the Kings were looking like they were clearing up the map, they've killed a good 30% of it. Peasants have managed to break the right hand side, so this is going to be very hard for the Kings to now come back from this one.
Yeah,
Very
their economy
close
has
game.
dropped below 1,000 metal a second without the reclaim, which is a very rough position to be in at this stage of the game.
Yikes. Focusing all on this right entrance here with the peasants. The army value though for the King should be enough to keep this at bay, especially with the Kargis here to clean up the spam. I think it's going to still take a little bit more for these peasants to get through. I do like the
They're not
snipers
gonna-
though. The snipers are going to take them out quite easily if they're microed, if they're pulled back, which they're not.
The Kings are in a rough position at this point.
What the Kings need at the moment, honestly, is metal. You can see the players that are still producing are metal locked, which means that if they can pop down enough to grab some of this reclaim, they'll be able to pump out a lot of army very, very quickly.
But don't reclaim too much
there
of it
is-
because it's body blocking a lot of these units from coming up the hill.
Oh yeah,
Body
I
blocking
agree
is a
with keeping
temporary
the ones on the
solution, though.
side. Enough damage
and
will
whilst
clear
it's-
that out anyway.
And whilst it's good, you can see the peasants are clearing it up anyway.
Yeah. catapults just
But
firing on the ground
unfortunately-
here. These demons here should be enough to keep the spam from falling out. It is giving the opportunity for Watch Behind to now head on north again, which they needed to do anyway, because this Maladay corner over here has a lot of units coming out. We've got Classic with these Vanguards and these Razorbacks. They're going to be pushing in as soon as these Vanguards get close to this entrance here. There are no shields to stop those plasma artillery shots from taking out this pork.
So, just to cover a few things while we're at this almost stalemate at the moment, the Kings generated a lot of safe space. It's no longer safe now because units have been pulled away, Kings have been killed, but they generated a lot of safe spaces over here. When you start winning, devote just a few resources to grabbing a couple of T2s, a couple of Twitches, and just start area mexing this area, start reclaiming this area to deny it from the peasants. Even though the APHIS with the advanced energy converters is more efficient for producing energy, it's less efficient build cap wise than having a lot of the T2 mexes around the map. That bonus metal will help. It'll also help you set up extra things outside of the base if you need the space. It means you can spread out your economies. It means you can spread out your build power so that if somebody does fall, there's no chain reacting like what we saw between Jimmy J's and Watch Behind. So when you have that space, make sure you use it, and then it also means that you can build your pushing power slightly closer to the areas you're wrapping around as well, which means that you can keep the constant pressure instead of it ebbing out. Because we did see this entire left-hand side of the map cleaned up, and the attack only just got petered out in the bottom, the very bottom of the map. There was plenty of opportunity here for the Kings to push out, but unfortunately, but in the same vein, there was also plenty of opportunity for the peasants to do a lot more damage than they did. That
these Shebas in the middle of the map should be enough to make it across to that eco on the left-hand side.
There are now Titans in the mix for the peasants as well, so taking bulk of those hits out of any of the bulwarks, and there goes the build power now that we can see most of what the Kings still hold within range of these catapults. Another player's economy out there with only a few % left on this APHIS, and then there's only going to be one more economy or two more economies up on the top of the hill. Watch Behind, building a backup economy. I love to see it out on the left, so that might be the last place to fall, but the ticks are in there now.
Which means that the peasants do know well about it. This was well played out of both teams, but the peasants were able to get that critical bit of damage done at the right time to all three of the wings, mostly because of the location of that economy, which meant that the Kings push petered out and the peasants could really start. So while we do like to see that early aggression at 10 minutes to deny the ecoing, it did seem to balance out quite nicely through the match. So nicely done to both the peasants and the Kings, but particularly good job to the peasants. You have overwhelmed your suppressive overlords. You've taken the hill, and now the question is who are you going to elect to be the new Kings? Who's going to be the new ruling class? And are you going to have to come after them again in Raptor Crater? That's the question.
I really liked how close this one was for the Kings. They almost got out there. They almost managed to do the wraparound, and now just the one comp to go down there. Unfortunately, leaving the game there. With one commander, if we can get a control D on that one, or the ticket about to find it anyway.
Should find it here in a second.
There we go. With no energy, that commander is becoming visible, and
there we go.
Time to go pop. Really nicely done, peasants, and really nicely done, Kings. Almost got out there and almost took the win, but just too much coming in on the right there.
As you can see from the
oh wow, look at
the
Duffy's
damage dealt.
eco. Bottom right, it's insane.
And considering he did that one without the co-oping that we usually see. But you also can see just the damage dealt. Watch Behind, absolutely crazy amount of damage dealt from Watch Behind. Didn't come online at that 10-minute mark, but came online at around about that 12, and then just kept on going, pushing around the map. Very nicely done. That's the power of not putting pressure on a king and letting them go up to 4 APHIS. That's a huge amount of economy.
Alright guys, we hope you enjoyed that one on the video replay, and as for in-game, we'll jump into the next one.
Thanks for joining us. Like, subscribe, comment, join us on the Discord, all that good stuff. Catch you next time.
Were you guys getting a little bit of lag towards the end? I reckon that this EU7 server is not the best.
I experienced one lag spike, but the rest was all okay.
It wasn't so much a spike, it was just slow towards the end. We usually see a lot more players.
Too bad.
I reckon let's jump over to Raptors. We haven't seen too much Raptors in the last few weeks.
Yeah. And if possible, could one of the mods set up a raid to the AllReasonNoLogic channel? I have run out of time. AllReasonNoLogic, that's us, by the way. Twig and Tank Tom will be continuing this on. I just won't be able to keep streaming on the official. So if you want to continue watching King of the Hill, then you'll be in Twig and Tank Tom's capable hands. Hopefully by next week, possibly the week after, I'll be back up to streaming the entire night.
All right, let's get
having a look on the Twitch chat. Immaculado. So the economy scales exponentially. You've got three main resources. You've got you've got your build power, you've got your energy, and you've got your metal. Metal you get through converting energy into metal, and from the metal points around the map. Energy you get from wind, solars, and later in the game, fusions and advanced fusions. And then your build power comes from your commander, your builders, and your build turrets. The game is about balancing the three of those to maximize your army. The economy will scale essentially exponentially, because the faster you're getting money, the more you can make buildings that will build you more metal. So once you hit a sort of tipping point, it becomes very hard to spend all that metal. The game has usually in a normal game there's about a 10,000 unit cap, so you can really flood the game with anything from T1 through to T3. If you want to try the game, then do feel free to jump onto the Beyond All Reason website. The game is free, and it's built by the community, and it's a pretty amazing community. We've done some great work with the developers around showing off the game. They do a lot of community events, and this is just one tiny little aspect of Beyond All Reason. King of the Hill is just our little corner of it. So do check it out if you want to play the game. It does look like that raid has happened, so I'm going to pop the main streams offline. I'm just going to post the link to the AllReasonNoLogic stream into the YouTube, just so that people can join us over there. If you're on the YouTube side of things, because I don't believe there is a way to do a raid from there.
All right, 9 kings is what we want out of this one. We'll give Blood Angel a shot, Tom. I think they missed out on the last one.
All right, gents, that's it from me, but Twig and Tank Tom will continue this on for the rest of the night. Catch you all later.
Cheers, Pradith.
See you, Prey.
We'll get 2 more games out of us on this one, on this fine evening. It's not so fine here though, blowing a gale outside. What is the bonus, Bob? What are we applying, Tom, down into the kings?
I've been putting 50s on.
All right, we've got the
We
9
can
there.
adjust that if needed. Yeah, there's 9 there. I was going with this one. We tend to make the bonus about the same as the number of peasants.
Yeah, we might have to drop it a tad if we don't get any more peasants We'll see if this expands at all. Thank you for following, Stuart Williamson. Do appreciate it. And guys, let me know if there's any issues with the stream from our official. I'm currently changing a few settings in OBS, and also in the process of moving house, where we'll have much faster internet soon. So hopefully a real good setup in the near future. Happiness waiting for his deliveries.
Alrighty. Yeah, we do have quite a lot of spectators.
Some 51, some 50s.
Yeah, it's because I
Yeah.
was just dragging to 50-ish.
Yeah, fair call.
I wasn't
All right, we'll give it
too
another 2
concerned.
minutes, and then we'll pick the final bonus.
I think we should be all good to go as long as everyone's ready up.
I actually reckon your bonus is pretty spot on. There are a decent number of experienced players in and outside. Actually, I don't see a weak player for the Kings. I wouldn't put it any higher, that's for sure. Yeah, every name down there I've seen do good damage. There are no weak links in the Kings. So Rosie was going to, or Bob as we call her, was going to nominate the bonus. See if they reply. King's favored right now. Oh, doesn't know. No excuses, Rosie.
I reckon that it's pretty good then.
All right, well, actually, we're up to 47. Up to 47 peasants, so we're looking like this will be hopefully relatively even.
Just need everyone to ready up. We've just done a ring. We'll give everyone a moment, and then we're just going to start speccing everyone that's not ready so that we can get underway.
Stuart asks, who normally wins, Kings or who should win? We had a really big patch probably for the last 3 to 4 months where the peasants were winning a lot up until about 2-3 weeks ago, and now it's turned around to be Kings winning more in the last little while. Yeah, there was a lot of commie ecoing happening out of the peasants, and then I think Kings have changed to be a little bit more aggressive early on and damaging some of those commie ecos before they come online. But it really comes down to who's in the middle. The first game that we have of every week usually is on Claymore, and we did have the Kings win like the last, I think it was like 12 or 13 of those until tonight. Myself, Prey, and Tank Tom always playing those ones, and we're pretty consistent with our build orders and winning our lanes. So yeah, as soon as you rotate the different Kings, it really makes a difference.
It's a sort of thing, even though the game's got its standardized balance, you'll see games swing wildly just in the standard game. The same thing happens in King of the Hill. Whilst we try and get a fairly consistent balance between the two teams, a lot of it tends to come down to how they play for that particular game.
I'm picking Kings this one because I recognize every one of those names, apart from Perspluri. How do you pronounce that, Tom? How would you pronounce that?
Um,
We'll just call him Purse.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone here recognize everyone else. They are very powerful. And you can't go by OS. Like Portmont, for example, slightly lower OS, but honestly one of the better Kings that I see in King of the Hill.
That was
Every
down
week,
at like
one of the best
12
players.
OS a while ago when we were doing these, wasn't it?
Yeah, you were actually. So that's a good point. You're also one of the best players at King of the Hill, especially early on. One of your strengths at those 10-minute marks, you actually do the damage. You don't just sit there and eco hard. And you were winning your lane quite often, being the one that broke. Whereas I was sitting at 30 OS and I almost never broke my lane when I was playing in these with you. I was just waiting for you to break yours and then using your advantage to my advantage.
And wait for me to come over and save you. And
Nasha, I can't imagine how much work would go into making this a fully automated battle mode. Yes, to make it fully automated, I certainly won't be working on that. Happy to play in them. Yeah, just even getting it to this point here, quite a lot of work goes in. Shout out to Chronographer who actually sets up all these maps as well with us, for us with this lava. It takes a bit, and then just getting the rules and getting the bonuses right. It's tricky, tricky, tricky. Thanks for the follow, Superhuman. Really do appreciate it. If you guys want to check out the replays of the best game of the week, we release one around the time that we end these streams from the previous week. We pick out the best game, the one that was most exciting, or the one that broke records. And you can check that out on our YouTube, AllReasonNoLogic. If you want to get the notification, just jump onto YouTube and hit that subscribe so that you get that ping every week when we release that. We also release quite a fun series that we've all been part of, myself, Bradith and Tank Tom, Road to OS 30. So doing the slow grind, as you just heard before. Tom was on 12 OS and worked his way up by himself mostly to 25. I think Prey played in 2 games with him. Prey did the same thing. And I think Tom joined in a couple of his games as well. But yeah, taking a few months each to get to 25 OS by themselves, and then we've all jumped in together to get from 25 to 30, and it's not going fantastic. It's all right though. The best part of it is actually fun all playing together, which we hadn't done in quite some time. Having 3 players in Discord together as well in an 8 vs 8 game really does help. Just yelling out to each other what to do and not to do. So quite an interesting series if you want to check that one out. We're a few episodes into the season, and our uncertainty is quite high. So yeah. All right, everyone, welcome to King of the Hill. And what is happening here? Duffy in the middle and accidentally spawning there. I'm not too sure, but that's a good medal donation for the Kings. Platinum Blonde, Mazza, Tiny Terror, Blood Angel, Rosie, Maladay, Pormont, Jellio, and Purse. Very strong Kings team here. Here to defend the hill and hopefully push out and take on all these peasants we have got. How many of them are there? There are 48 right now, now that a couple of detonated or left the game. And we're going to maybe see some commie ecos out of some of these players. Duffy is in the bottom right. I was going to say, they've done the right thing by the team. Seeing that a player was AFK, they automatically spawned into the middle, so detonating that so that we get no damage on any of the things. Thank you for that. We're going to see the Kings here try and boom their eco as much as possible with this plus 50% bonus, and that will get them through to at least T2 by the 10-minute mark, where if the peasants are smart, they'll have a lot of units ready to raid up into these hills. What we see every week is quite often there's a few, if not a lot of lanes that are not defended by pork, that are not defended by units. And that goes in both directions. The key at the 10-minute mark is to send out some really, really cheap scouts. See what you're up against. Pick those weak lanes
at 10 minutes,
and abuse it.
You send, enough to work out whether it's defended or not, with everything following shortly behind. If it's not defended, you roll straight on through and do as much damage as you possibly can. If you wait till 12 minutes, the defenses are probably up and there's units in the way. But at 10 minutes, it's always a gamble as to whether they got the build right and things are up or not.
What position do you prefer as a king, Tom? Which lane, I should ask?
Probably the sides, like left or right, just because those bases build nicely.
Yeah.
Everything else has got a bit more walking in it, but it doesn't make too much difference.
Commander,
I do like
self-destructed.
where Tiny
Front-
Terra and Maladay play because they have the least peasants against them. You can kind of see the lanes that they're defending against. Let's say Maladay, for example, right now they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 peasants up against them, whereas you go somewhere like Rosie and there's a good maybe like 12 down there, something like that, and you're going to get the
If you line up in
eco
the
as well.
corner, you know that you're going to be fighting against
Yeah.
that. If you can get out early enough to get into those corners before they fully come online with their T3 units, then it can be really satisfying. If you can't get out till 15, 20 minutes, then it turns into much more of a slog, and that's where you start assessing those lanes next to you. Make sure you've got enough in front of you not to fall, and then see if you can get through a different lane to make it in and deal that damage.
Commander, self-destructed.
Position I really like going is the middle one, although I don't do it very often. The reason I like that is I'm a player who generally likes to identify weaknesses or strengths in our teams and abuse that or help out. I like zooming out and actually trying to review the overall game rather than just my lane. Something that you're better at than me is taking on the direct opponents. A lot of commanders going down, getting that extra bit of metal. You just got to watch out when you do it around the edge of these maps because they do sometimes open up some lava into the low points, and it does become a little bit trickier to reclaim there, but that's all right when you get a construction turret in range. Smart way to do it.
The height of the map is not very high above the lava in most points.
Yeah, you look at the side of the map here, it's just a little bit of earth, just a foot or so. Yeah, going back to the middle of the map here. So Blood Angel walking their commander and I think it was one constructor around to upgrade all these mexes. Not the way that I'd typically do it. Actually,
Really low on energy to be getting that T2 built at the moment.
I like to
We've got
go
the metal.
T1 and T2 labs, sending at least one constructor per 2 of the mexes, and then if you need, just reclaim those constructors later on. But generally, you just end up putting them into economy and build power because you'll have plenty of economy. You probably don't need to reclaim for the metal. You can see this play here, Blood Angel, 2,000 metal in the bank right now, desperately trying to get this wind up. I'd almost be turning off this production of energy conversion. Probably dropping down a solar or 2 wouldn't go astray either at this point in time because we are just seeing a stall here, and some of these mixes they
If
do
you're
turn
high
off
on
when that's
metal
happening.
and low on energy, drop down those solars to get your energy up. Whilst they're not the most metal efficient, they're much more time efficient than building wind.
Duffy going into the first fusion of the game on the bottom right. That's scary.
That's an APHIS, not a fusion.
That is an APHIS. That's a big fusion. A very spicy fusion. Bottom left, we don't see as much Tommy ecoing over here. The best way and the fastest way for everyone in these corners to upgrade is just throw everything at one player and get that player to build the eco and then hand out the T3 units to micro. That's the fun way, I reckon.
I do like to see that there is a T2 lab on the front that's being shared to all of those front players. So they're at least spreading the love and getting those T2 constructors out to get all those mexes upgraded.
Cerulean Jester at the top right is already going into unit production with thugs. I recommend getting up as much eco as possible for a while before you build any units. You want to just
Is a lot of build power.
Yeah, it's 1,500 metal. 1,500 metal in units that could be going into eco. Build that eco up, get it to the point where you're comfortable that you can spend it with whatever build power you get, so that at the 10-minute mark you're aiming to have no metal left in the bank, no energy left in the bank, and as many units as possible if you are going to swarm the opposition. But if you go into too much pork and too many units too early on, you're not going to really capitalize on the possible amount of units that you can get out. I do know from facing X Factor Live when they were a peasant one game and I was a king, they managed to kill my base. Just one peasant managed to kill my base by going into 50 something incisors and just walking straight through my base with them. That wasn't a fun game for me.
Yeah, at that 10-minute mark, you can often overwhelm with just sheer numbers. You don't necessarily need big units, you just need more units. Because the defenses can only shoot at so many things at once.
I do see a lot of kings as well because they've got the eco. They're like, oh, I don't even need to go into T1 defenses because I'll just go the T2 pop-ups. They're so powerful, but they're not very good against spam, and spam's what you're going to be against in this game type.
The general way to think of it is T2 defenses for T2 units and T1 defenses for T1 units.
Yeah, so Purse going into a very interesting build, staying on T1 and going into all these defenses at the start. This is what we do not recommend as a king, so maybe this lane here is the weak lane. Luckily for them though, they are not against any commie eco, so there's not going to be too much for them to be up against. They have defended very well, so that will be a defense that will stop most T1 pushing. As soon as you see Sheldons or something coming out of the Sheldons aren't Sheldons and they're something like a sniper if you're building Armada, they will just walk straight through that.
We love to see you hitting T2, getting a fusion up, and then rotating into your units and defenses. Normally, that means that your fusion is coming up at the sort of somewhere between 6 and 8 minutes, which then gives you enough time to get everything else up once it's built.
Loving the comments in the Twitch chat at the moment. It's been suggested for getting this as a fully automated system. Only 2-3 days tops to set this up. And then they've had a response, which I agree with. I think you should jump into the Beyond All Reason official Discord and grab that dev role so they can make it happen. That would be very much so appreciated by the hundreds of players that play King of the Hill. That would be amazing. Second fusion coming up in the bottom right here. So this is going to be the powerhouse of the peasants, the battery corner. We do have a couple fusions maybe coming up elsewhere. No, just all wind economies. Oh, here's a fusion. It's not too bad.
Got a couple of fusions coming out.
Pretty good economies.
Made it into fusions.
With 30 seconds left, how is our Super King going? No fusions. No. Yikes.
Not many units across the map. 114 total.
Despite what I was thinking earlier, I'm not loving what I'm seeing out of the Kings. We've only got the one constructor building all of these mexes. Like I said, I like to build one constructor per 2 mexes and send them all out so that they're all up within about a minute.
So and those at least send one in each direction.
Build power. Yikes.
Although we're hitting this 10-minute mark, and we will see what happens.
The lava has dissipated. Okay, where do we see most of the units coming in? I'm just going to post a go.
Left. Make it in. If they push in, those rovers have got nothing but build power in front of them.
Yeah, these rovers probably actually going to do even better than these blitz that get degunned.
Oh,
going for the T2 constructor, just go in.
Straight on in.
Ligerion just really focusing on these constructors. It is not hard to build another constructor in King of the Hill. What it is hard to do is rebuild your entire base. Oh no. Yep.
Staying with the bottom right, they managed to get in, but they're killing the mexes. Whilst killing the mexes is nice, popping the build power is significantly more beneficial as the peasant.
Oh, no, they actually got in and didn't do anything about it. They are clearing out everything here though, so they can't build. Yeah, their teammates are like, kill the eco, kill the eco. Now there's been too much reaction. So unfortunate.
There isn't enough units to stop them if they do decide to just punch on in. The rovers will be faster than those grunts.
What OS is this player? What OS? I've got it registered. It's got the question marks. Maybe a little bit new to the game.
We've seen Ligerion around a bit though.
Yeah, this has surprised me. They can still just go straight in there. There's a couple grunts defending it.
Yeah, they've got Mazza on the back foot enough that they've been able to kill everything that he's sent so far. So you just punch on in. We've got other people coming to join the party, and hopefully these should... There we go. They're going to get cleaned up by defenses.
Oh man, that's disappointing. I'm disappointed.
That could be the difference. That would have been a dead king and an open lane.
Yeah, not necessarily dead king. The commander is enough to deal with that amount of
Right.
rovers. But yeah, having reset all the conversion, so those converters there right now are punching out 16 metal a second. If you manage to destroy the wing, that's going to go down. And really, after you get the conversion, just bypass it and go for the Super King in the middle, who's currently pulling in 90 metal a second.
Yeah. If you can make it into the middle, do that, because then you got access to the back of everyone's bases, which are never defended.
We've got some leaks on
Where
the
are
top. Some ticks actually are getting in. This player here doing
And
it
these are
properly.
going straight on in.
Yeah, not worrying too much. Here's the commander. You see, 2 shots out of commander does wrap these up. So are being dealt with now. So a bit of wind might be going down. The thing you want to do is just get to that conversion, but it's not going to happen. These sprinters are going to
It does
easily clean these
provide
up.
some vision for the peasants so that they know what they're walking into next time around, that they can make it in.
Yeah, I do love to see some snipers out here, but they do not have enough energy behind them. Every shot's just bottoming out that player's energy. With 1,000 in the bank, they need to have a few more energy storages before sending in 4 sharpshooters.
What would be great to see is those units come down that ramp and then rotate around behind the defended lane. You don't necessarily have to punch into your own lane.
Yeah,
If you can make it down a ramp, you're free to move wherever you can get to.
that's it. Bring those around there. That's the way to do it. We do have a Starlight and a couple of Mausers on the right as well, chipping away this T1 defense. And I do like seeing a ghost. Oh, sorry, Gremlin. Gremlins can do quite a bit of work in these games. We have seen games where Gremlins get in. People have just completely forgotten about counter intrusion. And all of a sudden, just a massive chain reaction happening. And we're like, what the hell happened? The Gremlin. That's what happened. We got some Fiends and also some Sumos on the right. A ton of grunts coming this way, but probably the right units to clean them up. Especially with the welder back there as well, and cleaned up quite nicely. So Mazza will have their work cut out for them if these units keep pushing in. Sumos are very slow, but they take a long time to kill. Someone was telling me, why would you build a Soma? You can just build termites, because they're quite chunky themselves, but they do a lot more damage. So, and they also go uphill. So I haven't tried that yet. I used to have a composition that I'd always play, which was Sheldons with Sumos in front of them, a couple of the Manticores, and then of course the Deceiver and the Augur. And then I'd use the control command to walk them in with those Sumos at the front, and they typically went quite well for me. But they are just so slow and so metal intensive as well. 560 metal to build these. Back up the top, we have got Classic getting in with these welders.
Destroyed.
Commander goes down. These snipers, these whistlers giving vision, really helping nicely. But we do have Centurions coming now,
Oh,
being fed from
the lane next to them has managed to crack those T1 defenses as well,
Mm,
which means that this lane is going to be fairly open relatively soon.
I am liking the response though here. The Centurions do really clean up a lot of this, but they will get taken out by the sharpshooters if within range. But I do like to see Jelio sending ticks there to take up those shots. And a big reload on these snipers. I think it's about 10 seconds to reload out of them.
It's long enough that after they've fired a volley, you've got some time before the next one is on its way out.
Really good vision out of Rosie, aka Bob, for sending these up this way just for some defense. A good bar player doesn't just worry about what their role is. They go and make a difference to all lanes.
Plug all the gaps.
That is the difference between a OS 25 and an OS 30 player.
You can see the Kings have done a good job of stabilizing. Whilst there was some pressure on that bottom side, that's all been closed up with units now. We're seeing good pressure from these peasants on this top side. They've managed to get a foothold and they're continuing to maintain that pressure. They're not giving up, which means that they're drawing, 3 Kings worth of response to deal with them, which
Yeah.
then weakens the rest of those lanes for someone else to put the pressure on.
Well, this is a really good point. The Kings have not broken a lane yet, which you really want to see by this stage of the mark. We're 7 minutes past the no rush, and it is a stalemate, but there is no expansion out of the Kings on ground, whereas the peasants, That's good for them. It means they get to eco, they can catch up on that eco, they can get to the T3 stage of the game and then decide to push out. These fat boys now doing a bit more work than what the peasants can deal with, and that's been cleaned up nicely. We do have a bunch of ticks coming through for a scout through. T3 coming out of Maladay on the right. They're getting cleaned up really nice. Beamer's such a good defensive unit. Maladay actually out-ecoing the main eco player, so maybe a build order to be reviewed there for Blood Angel. You want to get down a lot more build power. You can see 7,000 metal in the bank. They're not able to spend it. Do we have the T2 build power on for this? We do. Oh, it's construction turret. Yeah. I'm going to build them. It's, what is it? 600 build power.
Unit population that they're not necessarily required anytime soon.
Yeah. That was a big reason we introduced these, and another tweak that was done by Chrono was making these chain react, because what we used to see in King of the Hill is anything that got in and damaged them, everything around it just got healed by the sheer build power that these things produce. So no chain reactions. Yeah, that's been changed now, so these will just go pop and chain react like these small ones do. Razorbacks walking around the map here and going to clean up all these starlights, I think, unless they kill the Razorbacks first. No, it's not going to happen. And these starlights do chain react as well. Razorbacks going to turn right, go up the ramp. Nope, going to defend. So really nicely done. Okay, stalemate's still happening. We have a lot coming out of Maladay though. With all these marauders here and this many vanguards, I think we'll see some of these lands start to fall out of the peasants. But then we look down the bottom right. 9 APHIS. Plus the 2 over here in the corner from Imperiate to New. Hasn't been much action down here, but I have a feeling it's coming soon.
The Kings are getting to the point where they've got T3 armies staging, getting ready to roll out. Would love to see some spam in front of them though.
Yeah, Raiders do go down pretty quickly, and we do have pitbulls up here, so they're going to deal with them pretty quickly. The Vanguard should be able to take them out pretty quick. Let's just hit a player view. Do we see these? We do see the silhouette of a few of them, and a couple of them going down just like that with one volley over the hill. A couple of Vanguards down south as well doing the same thing. Slowly weaning down these T1 and T2 defenses that Rosie has. But Rosie has the right answer to the Vanguard, and that is the Vanguard. With spam coming out of Platinum Blonde now as well, we're going to get a bit more vision through here, so I'm not too worried for this king. Where I am worried though is on the left. We are having less and less defensive structures in between the peasants and Perth's base. Perth still on T1. Oh,
you gotta make it to T2 as a king, particularly at 20 minutes.
Yeah, very lucky for the Kings though. No pressure, and you can see why. These walls, these dragon teeth, stopping the peasants even getting out. Is there much eco in the background? We've got fusion ecos. We've got a couple of APHIS coming up. Maybe if this player here, Kodachrome goes into T3, they'll be able to push quite hard. Hopefully they don't take too long to do that though, because T3 will start building up for the other Kings. Jim Jace is under threat. We have 2 Razorbacks and 3 Vanguards marching to the left, and they do have vision of where this build power is taking it out now, so T3 not going to come up. This commander needs to come back to defend. We want to see some D-guns to take out these Razorbacks, and then hopefully spam out of some of the neighbours to deal with the Vanguards.
On the right hand side, the Kings are managing to push on out.
Ooh.
However, the peasants are managing to push in just below them as well.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's the sign. Maladay pushes out, the peasants push in. There are a lot of T3s coming out of Rosie here.
There's enough Razorbacks there that this T1 is not going to make it in.
A lot of Marauders
However,
coming.
The T3 might have a chance.
Raiders.
Those pitbulls are going to take a toll. However, if they can make it into that build power,
nope, it's not going to
target
happen.
the build power, they might have a chance.
Yeah, the build power what's needed to be hit there. That Vanguard there, they're just short of the build power. So is that Veron? If Veron gets the vanguards onto that build power, that will really hurt Rosie. Rosie now has been given 2 bases. What has happened here? There's a player left, Platinum Blonde. Still in the game somewhere. But yeah, not sure where. Tiny Terror pushing on the left continuously here, so not enough of a reaction out of the peasants here, and that is going to spell doom for a couple. Orat's commander going invisible, trying to get to this. No, Razorback's going to be just out of range. Doesn't matter though, Tick's cleaning it up. Ticks do very well against Razorbacks if there's enough of them. Metal for metal. Ticks actually beat a Razorback. One on about, I don't know, 1200. However much the equivalent
as
is.
long as you've got enough of them. It takes a lot. But metal-wise, they are definitely efficient.
Yeah, almost more efficient than any other unit, apart from the Juno. Junos do beat Ticks, as you all know.
The Razorbacks on the bottom right side are doing a good job of getting it very close to being in this bottom right corner.
Yeah. This is turning very King's favour right now, and I won't say it was uneven, because the peasants could have pushed in. Just too many peasants taking too long to come online.
You have to, as the peasants, you have to make sure that you get in and make the most of your opportunities.
Like
if you can make it in, take out the economy, and then deal with the army after the fact, because if the economy's dead, the army won't resupply.
Good thing for the peasants, there are plenty of commanders to take these out. We want to see the vanguards get taken out over here, so these Razorbacks, once they clean out, they need to keep pushing north and take these out and stop any economy going down. There are too many bases with fusions and aphises as peasants. These players here, all along the edge here, you want to see them building T1 and just continuously assaulting the kings, so that the kings don't have that ability to expand. Top right is completely wiped. We just need to see this lane here pushed. Orat's lane. Get units, push them directly out from your commander, and you will get into this base, because there is nothing defending here. Oh no.
The kings are
the stream has just lagged out. My bad. I think I'm still there, hopefully.
That's right. Everything seems to be a little bit slow at the moment.
Yeah, I don't know if it's server or if it's me. I've just had a few issues the last couple of days changing the settings. Titan's now into play on the bottom. There are a ton of pulsars, so this is not the lane to push into. Commander's ready and waiting. Some sharpshooters trying to take out these Titans before they get in, but with this many vanguards behind by Rosie, they might actually get in quite easily. Yeah, pulsars also chain reacting their damage, their splash damage, kind of like the Starlight does. Oh, Commander.
And that I'm going down before getting off any good D guns.
Yeah, okay, so it's looking very, very, very good for the Kings at the moment. There are a bunch of Starlights trying to push on the north in, but they don't have any energy, so they're not even shooting. Need to make sure you have enough energy. Give those away to somebody else that can push. It is very King's favour right now, so I don't know. I feel. What do you reckon?
Saying that it only takes a player to make it in to completely turn this.
Yeah.
Although there's not too many peasants left to be able to hold off and push on out.
All in it that the Kings were just sorry, the peasants were just too greedy, in my opinion.
Although in saying this, Mazza is under fire at the moment. Those spiders are in such that that Aphis is going to go down. The pulsars are going to do a good job of holding them off, but that is an open lane for the peasants.
Yeah, this is a rush now for getting there before
we can see
there's
those
a
units go straight on in, which is where they're targeted for.
Rosie's
if they can get to that eco in the middle, that is going to be massive. They can hit that conversion.
Oh no. Oh no,
Or
before
running
get it,
past.
just get the
Teammates
conversion.
highlighting that.
Yeah,
Yep, that's it.
there we go.
Ooh,
Self-damage, so the chain
the
reaction there.
static defense.
Okay, there goes the build
Taking
power
out
of the middle
all
player.
that eco.
These tigers here, if they can get to... Oh no, these these put bills are going to stop them. So you want to probably body block. If you can get them into here, they won't be able to get shot by those. But unfortunately, we're not going to see them get any further. So full reaction
These
out of
arbiters, though, are looking like they're going to be able to hit the next lane up.
Yeah, yeah, maybe. If they have knowledge
Love
of
to
it.
see them.
Yeah, there's no knowledge of the way this eco is for those players.
Yep.
They're cleaned up.
And that's where the spam comes in clutch. If the spam can go in and show you where the things are, then it means that when you've got those arbiters, you can then blind fire onto where that eco is.
Alright, somewhat of a stalemate here on the right. There is a massive army actually walking, but enough vanguards out of Duffy, and these are being held back. 3 Titans. Are there any commanders? There is a commander there. So D-guns are a possibility to clean these up.
Those Titans should be able to make their way in, although it's going to be a Vanguard v Vanguard fight. I would be very tempted to see those Kings one just blind fire into potential economy spaces.
Good D-guns out of Axolotl. Duffy's commander's sitting there, not invisible, so that might get shot, unfortunately. Oh no, nicely D-gunned there out of Axolotl again, and a couple of Shivas, and Pulsar's taking those out. Demon's trying to push in on the right now. Are there enough? We've got 4 here. They are going to clean up those Razorbacks. There are probably a few too many Razorbacks in the way here though. Taking out all the Razbots that were resing this T3. These are not being microed by Pormont. That's because they've all been resurrected, but yeah, nothing's going to breach there either. Now the top left is being assaulted. We got Cargonists that have come over the hill. We got Thors pushing EMPing, so EMPing the spam labs as well. I love that. No more spam coming out of those 4 labs, but there's still plenty coming from the background. And a big sharpshooter ball. Argies are going to be able to just walk up over here. If they can avoid these ball walks and just stick out this lane here and just walk into the back line like that, that's going to do a lot. No commanders around here either. This is a problem for these peasants.
The peasants are getting spammed dangerously close to being in the middle again. Although
it feels like a king advantage game, but like peasants really could have won this. I think
it was close.
It was maybe like 10 peasants that were actually assaulting throughout the game. The rest were just sitting back and just ecoing that little bit too hard.
If you can put the pressure on so the kings need to respond early, then it means that they can't just eco scale hard. And yeah, as Chronographer just said in the chat, when only 2 peasants attack, you don't really have a whole lot of hope. You need consistent pressure around the map or a really solid push to punch in through a king. And once the lane's open, be able to continue to put the pressure on through it. Because if you leave the kings alone, they will reset, scale up, and they will be able to outscale you in the short term.
And that is what's happened here now too. Kargi's about to pop the second biggest eco out of the peasants. Control D'ing their base there, nicely done by the kings on the top left. Yeah, bottom right getting into the middle, blind firing down into this hole here. We've got some AFIS under threat. There we go, a few big lobs.
There's going to be eco spread throughout that, so as long as you can hit something, things are going to go pop.
Here we go, we got Razorbacks and Titans versus Razorbacks and Titans. Actually, no, they're Vanguards in the background there. I think these are getting in, especially with these Vanguards popping down into the middle. Let's check that player view there. We can just see a bunch of units, so they're just going to be blind firing and hoping for the best. There is a number of these keepers, the plasma deflectors. They are going to stop the Vanguards from being able to shoot up and in. So really nicely done out of Duffy there, defending quite nicely, and there's possibly not enough to get in on this wave.
Not this wave, but there is enough pressure that they should be able to make it in.
We got the last eco on the top left just going pop, and just a couple bulwarks remaining there, but they're not going to have much power to fuel them. How is the bottom left going? Focusing on demons. Hot tip, demons do not beat titans. This player here has been feeding them in, but what does beat them is juggernauts. This juggernaut, if it can get far enough in and go pop, the explosion of the unit just dying is like an atomic bomb, a nuclear missile impact. They will take out a lot around it. Unfortunately not going to get close enough though, and not actually taking out anything, just doing a lot of damage.
There's enough defenses here now that with those almost overlapping pulsars and those units standing there, none of this spam that's trickling in is going to be able to do anything. At this point, you'd be better off holding the spam, letting it mass, and punching it all in a single wave rather than drip feeding them one at a time.
Yeah, you can even still see here Maz's old lane getting pushed quite hard, and these titans and these Thors just getting taken out by sharpshooters. I love to see it. There is still a possibility of getting in if this does get ignored. But yeah, are they going to pick up on this? There is a clear path into Rosie's base now with just the one Titan in the way.
Whilst yes, I don't think there's going to be enough units and eco left for the peasants to be able to capitalize on that, even if they do make it in. Just the army value that the kings have on the map should be enough to pretty well finish this off. Particularly seeing as they're fighting down the sides rather than through all the defenses.
Buffy's still holding somewhat strong, but there is just a lot of T3 here. And these plasma deflectors down to 27% there on the front line. I wouldn't be surprised if we see these first few Apices go pop soon. Titan's coming out pretty quickly though.
That is a lot of pulsars he has up there.
They're actually shutting it down. This player is just OP.
Commander destroyed.
Bomb does go down there.
Commander destroyed.
And now with two sides being assaulted, I don't love his chance. We're going to quickly pop over to the left, see how they're going. We've got Thors and an absolute ton of stouts coming up around the corner there, and the economy is just about to go pop.
Commander destroyed.
Nicely done.
At this point, I think it's basically just a clean up for the kings.
Mass ticks going in from Jaleo. Looking to find the build power in the background here in any big economy. This juggernaut is so close to being out as well. What is happening with the turrets? Just on heal mode. And I reckon we're going to see this Ovis go pop.
That build power is going down at the very least. It only takes a couple of build towers to be dead before the chain reaction starts.
Trying to get to this build power here. I like to see it. There we go, nicely done. Some chain reactions there.
Destroyed.
Only a few commanders left out of the peasants. Bottom left has these Thors going in, and there's one commander left. Two commanders left. Troll D getting called on this advanced fusion, but it's going to get popped before that can happen. The satisfaction is not there. We're going to see a D gun? No, we're not. And this left side is all but dead.
Commander
I
destroyed.
think I don't want to miss the pop on the right. Those few pulsars are now down. Units being pushed right in. This is such an intense defense here out of Duffy. A valiant effort. And there we go, the final march. The build power is down, so we're going to see that eco go pop.
Commander destroyed.
Held out well for how much pressure was flying in from the kings.
Like, my god, that was like minutes of holding out against multiple kings. That's just skill. Can't teach that. Full focus under pressure. And a lonely
Just that final
sniper.
pump left.
Commander destroyed.
And that's it. That's a
game.
King's win. It was a good game. should have been probably slightly closer. Peasants, build your units. King's just holding out though, and most of them still alive at the end. A couple dying. Tiny Terror doing the most damage. Duffy destroying enemy units and defenses as expected. Melody there with the resources. Looking at those
I think the key
graphs.
thing for this game is the damage dealt. There isn't any until, I will say, after the 20-minute mark. There's nothing significant. For the peasants to have a chance, you really want to see a bunch of those blue lines starting to tick up at that 10-minute mark.
And then, yeah, the metal produced there. You can see where some of the kings have fallen. And peasants not doing too bad, but you can see just a couple peasants really doing a lot of damage right from the get-go. But you're not seeing enough blue early on there. As soon as that 10-minute mark hits, you want to see that happen. All right, guys, that's another one in the vault, and we'll jump into the next one.
Thanks for joining.
Right, well, I've got one more game left in me, Tom. I reckon we turn a few more units on if we can get the extra units. And we'll turn Legion on as well.
Turn on, yep, Legion's on.
Got the extra unit pack as well, I reckon. And we're going to get 9 more kings down the bottom into T2.
The extra. I see that there's the shields rework as well. So let's do a lobby sim and get everyone sorted again. We've still got a similar number of
49 is the reserve number.
Yeah, I think that's probably about right. The extra units benefits the kings.
Yeah, definitely benefits the kings more. So guys,
And if you can
girls and guys,
get those Sol Invictus rolling, it does a whole lot of work.
jump down to team 2 if you want to have a go as a king. Test out your APM. Just bear with Tom and I as we assign all these bonuses.
60 odd players, so we might have to bump it a little bit.
Which we can do. Well done, Kings. Kings winning every game tonight so far. Can we get a peasant win?
There have been some pretty close ones. That game was sort of hanging in the balance there for a while.
All right, do we have anyone else that wants to be a king? Otherwise, we're going to leave Rosie and Platinum Blonde down there. We have potentially 3 more spots if anyone wants to try. Okay, asked how much time at the start. There's 10 minutes.
You can see Tanasha and Stuart talking in the Twitch chat there. Watching replays is a great way of learning sort of what's going on and seeing where you can potentially make some improvements. I know one of the biggest benefits of doing our road to 25 and now 30 is that going back and watching games, you can be like, I messed this up. I could have done that better. This would have been a good idea to do in that situation. Going through and doing those sort of things makes a big difference and definitely helps you improve. I'm going to say that we probably want someone else down in the Kings.
Yeah, Platinum Blonde is
Zero
AFK.
OS is a bad idea.
If no one else jumps down there, though, we will give them a go and just give them an extra bonus and take it into consideration. Platinum Blonde is AFK, so I'm just going to put them into Team 2 for now. That's what I've been told anyway. I can jump back down there in a minute if we get no one else.
I don't quite know how the balance goes with the extra units and stuff in here. Is this going to include the super APHIS and things as well?
Well, I don't know. Have you just copy and pasted a previous one?
No, with like the extra units and stuff.
I'm not sure. That's a question for Nightmare. I don't know if they're there. Nightmare, do you know, is that going to include the super APHIS and the super conversion?
We've got Legion and the extra units pack.
I have a feeling it does.
No, what is going on
what
here?
happened? What happened? There goes a
We're
typo.
still
Oh no!
playing Nightmare.
It was an accident. It was an accident. Bear with us and we'll get that reset.
And I will chuck it back on again.
I just want to use do it. Was it really a misclick? Just keeping us all on edge. No, we love what Nightmare does for the community. Runs the community. Posts these fun events. Keeps things ticking. Bear with us while these reload in. What we want is we want those extra units on. We want the Legion on. I'm not too fussed whether the super APHIS and the super conversion's there or not.
It just means that the Kings will scale that much harder if you let them. So we're at about 60 peasants, and I think based on who's with the Kings, we probably want a 60 bonus.
I'm thinking so.
I'm going to start from the bottom. And once that's all sorted, we should be pretty well good to go. I'll just do a last check of the IDs and stuff.
Rosie thinks you can't balance this. Yeah, possibly the case with, what is that? Couple
We
low
do
OS
our
players.
best.
Let's give M Bravo an extra 10%, Foggy an extra 5% as well. Go up to 70% there for M. Once you get to the 70%, usually you're almost never able to spend all your economy. Once you get to about the 15-20 minute mark, if you scale properly. I'm going to just spec these couple players that have got the ZZZs up on their name. We're at 59 peasants versus the, oh, we've got 10 kings now. Only 9.
I'll let you pick who's staying down there.
It's going to be Rosie that picks. Rosie's in charge tonight. And then we'll kick things off after we pick who our last king is. Good to see so many new names jumping into kings and trying it out. And if you do get rotated out in Bravo, it's just because we do cap this off at about 5 OS minimum for kings. Otherwise, it will automatically be a...
If A lane falls, then the entire team falls behind you as well.
Yeah. And that is the general rule that we got, and that we've communicated previously.
Looks like our King's team has shuffled a little bit, so
we're going to keep the players that are down there. We can't Can't unfortunately change these.
Yeah, and that means that Platinum Blonde goes back up. We've got 70 peasants now. So this is going to start getting much more difficult for the kings. You probably need some more experience in there to cover.
We're going to make a decision so these kind people don't wait for us too much. I don't think we can rotate any more players out. It would not be fair to them. We invite anyone that's above 5 OS or above 3 chefs and or stay down there. So first in best dress, we'll just bump up this bonus to 70%.
Yes, Starlights are allowed, and no defensive structures are to be used offensively.
What's happened? We just got a 10th king again.
Platinum Blonde keeps jumping down there to try and help balance the teams out.
Keep trying to click these names and the list keeps moving. You can help us on these 70%, so that'd be great. More than happy for Platinum to go king if somebody else drops out, but I'm not going to force somebody to leave after they got in there first. That is a very, very hefty bonus though for the kings. You can easily get to an APHIS at the 10-minute mark and have a lot of T2 units out.
It kind of just depends on how many weak lanes you see. Last game with a king on T1 only.
Yep.
You can't really bonus your way out of that.
Got a lot of chat there about having another experienced king down there. If somebody wants to drop out of kings and then give that spot to Plat, we'll allow that in the next 30 seconds. But if not, we're going to keep these 9 because they are down there first. So up to you guys. Everyone is welcome, irrelevant of their OS, with reason, of course. And we'll kick that off. With this bonus, you should not have a problem with eco.
Let's go. And this will be the last game of the night for us, I reckon.
Yep, if someone wants to do an after party, go for it. I'm just going to check if there's anyone else to raid at the moment. There we go. 2 pumps is there.
The maximum number of peasants we've had? Is it 125? Was it 115 or something?
125 for the week that the devs came out and joined you and I in the middle. So I think it was 7 devs plus 2 of us. And that was verse 100 and... what would that be? 116? 9 verse 116. The 116 one give away the result, but there is a video out on the AllReasonNoLogic YouTube. Jump over there, guys. Hit like, hit subscribe, all that good stuff. We release one King of the Hill game every week, as well as one of our Road to OS 30 games every week. Join us for our journey as we leave the world of noobs and hopefully come to the stage of semi-pro. Long way to go. Claim that title. Going to drop those rollers into the middle of the screen for you people. No rush timer, 10 minutes, no structures that can be used defensively, and peasants please spawn on the outside. But Fury, that is you. Thank you. Alright, okay, I see what's happening here. I'm going to just type into chat hot tip for peasants. sorry, for the kings, you want to have one super king in the middle and then the other 8 outside.
I was going to draw, but they can't see us.
So Rosie might want to try and coordinate them to move on out. Watch behind the cat, Foggy, Imperiator and you. Only one of you should be starting in the middle. We find if too many, if too many of these mexes get taken off the super king in the middle, they don't expand fast enough to get T3 before everyone else in the game. You want that king to get T3 as fast as the commie ecos can get T3, and that won't happen if they have some of those mexes taken off of them. Are we going to see any big lanes out of the peasants here?
I suspect some of those corners should be fairly decent.
It looks like... I love when the
I've
nerd guys
also-
get together and commie themselves. They always do damage. Jay Frost and I Kill You for Fun. Shout out to you guys. Supporting the channel as well. Those two guys are menacing. Unseen. Make yourself unseen from the middle. Unseen, you have 20 more seconds or else you're going to get the kick ban and someone's going to take. There we go. Thank you.
Clear out all of those marks.
Alright, we will force start this one very shortly. Yeah, quite amusing discussion in the Twitch about stress testing this game mode. When the devs did come along, they got to see really how far this game gets pushed with this many players, and we have definitely managed to crush it a couple times.
Yeah, when you give it all the commands, you kind of have to let it think for a bit.
Yeah, some games get all those constructors out and they'll get given a command at the same time, and just that lags everybody out. Yeah, I'm getting told to wait. What's happening? What's happening? Buggy, what are you doing?
I'm assuming that's a misclick. Or
Yeah, we're not
if
forced
we've got
starting
multiple
yet, don't
kings
worry.
that have left,
We see
then
you.
we will have to look at restarting.
Ah, someone's left. That's what's happened. Buggy has left the game. 2 kings have left the game. I think that's a re.
Yep.
Battle ended.
How annoying. Alright, Platinum Long gets it.
There we go.
We've got 9 down there again.
Yep. Put a bonus here.
They now have quite the high bonus as well, but oh well. They're going to stick with it.
There is 70. The more peasants that are around the outside, the harder it gets to punch on out.
Yeah. We don't usually go much higher than 75. I think we just see
It's
how it
that
goes.
balance of enough for the 10 minutes, but it depends on how hard they scale. So I think we should be good to go, and I am going to we'll start us again.
Yeah, if we get some commie eco out of every corner, 100% the peasants can win it. Put it this way, when the devs came in, and none of them are inexperienced players, we lost with plus 100, I think.
That was also an ungodly amount of peasants around the outside, so it was basically give ourselves the best possible chance to maybe try and hold it.
Yeah, you did pretty good that game, but it was your lane that fell. you did the most damage.
Covering the other two.
Yes, you did do a lot.
I seem to remember I was covering your lane so that you didn't fall, and my lane, and then got hit with like, what was it, 5 peasants worth all charging at once.
This is all true, but I prefer my version of the story. All right, I gotta say, if the Kings do win this, firstly, of course, blame Bob. Secondly, we will lower the bonuses next week. We try and react to this week to week, but it never goes well for us. There's always going to be some games that are unfair. A few of the games earlier tonight, the first 3 games were actually pretty close tonight. The last one, not so much. We'll see how this one goes. So we do our best.
The last one was close. It was just the Kings ended up coming out on top and then could roll around from there.
Yeah.
But the peasants had opportunities to punch one in. And with this one, with the extra unit packs and things, it doesn't necessarily play the same as normal games. So that also swings the balance. It used to be things like, before we got the lava map, if it was uphill or downhill, made a big difference as well.
Still got a couple Kings starting right in the middle instead of on the outside. We like to see 6 mixes per King with the 1 Super King in the middle with 8. One King still has not placed. Don't tell me we have another person that hasn't loaded in. Oh no, they've dropped out. I wonder if...
Give them a moment.
No, make them force someone in. Maybe if someone wants to write to us that they'd like to be king and we have a mod, bring them in, drag them in to be a king, rather than restarting again. Oh, we have Sivan and Grumpiness out on the right. Like to see it. We will be raiding Grumpiness after this one. For the after party.
Looks like the Kings are happy to go with 5, so we'll just let them share that middle economy and we'll keep things rolling, I think.
Alright, no worries. That's what we're doing then. Back to what we used to do in this, which was each king gets a mix out of the middle as well as their other 6. So 7 mixes apiece. Very winnable. Used to always play it that way. We just realized that having the extra king in the middle did help to match the commie ecos that you do see around the corners. That 70% bonus is going to be quite a healthy metal income for the Kings.
70% means that you can basically be looking at APHIS
Yeah, and we do have the extra units
rather
on this
than
time as well.
fusions.
We do have to remember that that does usually give advantage to the kings. Assimilators really go well in King of the Hill. Like a long range
I
Razorback.
remember not long after we had those on for one of the King of the Hill games, they received a nerf to try and bring them back into line a little bit because they were just wildly
Yeah, they're fast. They got a long range.
effective.
Like,
And they're relatively cheap, aren't they?
yeah. So even though that they've got less health and less DPS than a Razorback, they yeah.
I reckon we should be good to go, are we? I'm going to give us a 4-star. 3, 2, 1.
Battle started.
Alright, welcome back to King of the Hill. We're on Raptor Crater. We're trying it out with 8 kings instead of the usual 9, which is what we used to do. So rather than having that super king in the middle, each of these kings is going to have one more mix to fuel their economy, take on these peasants. Should be a good one. We do have 73, that is, peasants around the outside. Some really big names of the game. We have quite a few regular kings in the middle. We've got Rosie with Platinum Blonde leading the way. A few others over at Imperiator, watch behind. Have all been kings before. And then also a couple names that we don't see in there as often, without any sense. Beyblade. Austining. Might have seen them around, not sure. Aim of the game here, 10 minutes, no rush. Build up your eco for as much as you can within about the first 6 to 8 minutes, then build pork, build units, and go and kill your enemy. There are a range of roles as a peasant, so typically we see peasants up on these hills going into a bit of economy, and then I like to see at the 6-minute mark them just going into T1 units so that they're spam ready. Same goes for all the peasants that are just on the outside, but these guys here are also responsible for building pork on every single one of these entrances. How many entrances are there? It's like 24 or something. It's quite a few.
There's quite a few.
Oh, it would be 2 times 8. Be 16. Yeah. So, and then in the corners, I like to see Commie Eco. We don't see it enough lately. It used to be the thing. Every corner would have Commie Eco. All these 6 mexes and all the commanders donating all their metal to one player to get up those aphises by the 10-minute mark. We do see it happening a little bit over here. Looks like we got Ormont and Fuel feeding Victor into a T2 lab quite early there. I like to see it. We also have a little bit of commenting going over here. Keep an eye on Grumpiness and Sivan, 2 really good players of the game. We will be sticking with them for the after party for King of the Hill. They're on every week. Typically we'll do about 5 King of the Hill games every Sunday, and then there'll be an after party including some big games, the ones that Nightmare likes to host. Alright, back in the middle. Economies are coming up. I like to see what these players are doing here, sending out a constructor down each of these legs of metal extractors, and then once you get to about the 8-minute mark, set up some pork, or maybe even 7-minute mark. If you've got some build power there, that really helps it get up quickly. In the middle, I like to see a lot of economy. Without the Super King in the middle, I think we're going to see a lot of back-to-back economy out of all these kings. Previous games, we usually see the ecos being built here for the usual player start positions, and then there'll be a Super King building eco all through in the middle here. Not the case. We're going to see a lot more eco right in the middle. Rosie going into the self-D, something I never do. I'm too nervous to not have my com back up by the 10-minute mark. Also way too nervous at somebody else reclaiming it if I want to take it down to like a few metal remaining and rezzing it before the 10-minute mark. All too often the area reclaim gets put on by a res bot, and it just all of a sudden, oh, commander's gone. Oh well.
yeah, leave it a couple metal and then come back to find it's gone.
Alright, how are these coming ecos going? Is there anything standing out to me? Bottom right's looking pretty much like a solo game. Don't love it, don't hate it. It's just part of the game. We got T2 coming up on the top out of Kodachrome, but that is not Commie Eco either. It is actually faster. Like, people go solo, but it is faster to Commie your Eco, get them to send you T2, get your mixes up. You'll have more economy by the 10-minute mark. You'll have more units by the 10-minute mark. This is what I like to see over here.
Few Commie corners coming up.
Where are you seeing?
That
And we got Jelly and piece of bread down here. Sharing out T2. This is what you want. So everyone's been giving.
one's sharing.
These guys haven't had to build their own T2 lab. That means they're going to get T2 mechs upgraded for only a 400 and something metal investment.
Milady on the other one, sharing everything out as well.
Where are they?
Up here.
Commander self-destructed.
Ah, yes. Very nice.
We're seeing T2 up and flying for the Kings as well.
I always prefer building my own T2 lab as a king because you get to reclaim that lab as part of the standard build order. What I mean by that
Definitely helps
is
with
the rule with kings is because you get a bonus from reclaiming stuff. If you abuse your typical build order, that's an offense we don't like to see. That will limit how often you get to be king. So don't go reclaiming stuff just to get the free metal. That is a no-no.
But things like building your T1 lab to then reclaim to build your T2 lab. Once you get your T2 builders,
That's
a
totally
couple
fine.
of those out, you reclaim your T2 lab to get your fusion up. That's the sort of thing that is expected as part of your standard build orders.
Yeah. Without any sense, a lot of build power, not much wind. So that's about the amount of build power I want to see. Once you've got a fusion up or a few advanced solars, maybe if you choose to go down that avenue. This is probably a more healthy amount here with enough energy storage down to assist this fusion reactor going down out of our once this T2 lab goes. You'll see that there'll be about 3,500 metal pumped into the bank there. Oh, sorry, 4.5. Can't do my math. Oh, that's right. 70% bonus. I'm used to seeing it at about 50. Yeah, that's big. So that pays for the entire fusion just there. So energy is actually going to be the problem. Luckily, those storages are going to get that almost the whole way up. So you just might scrape through the bottom. You don't actually want to build the extra build power because that just takes all the energy away, and now you're going to stall. Hot tip.
Yeah, build power takes a lot of energy to build.
So much. So that bottomed it out. That was actually on point to almost finish without stalling, and then yeah,
I know I've
unfortunately.
done the math, and to get a minute APHIS, you need 140 odd metal and 1,000 energy per second out of 25 build towers.
Yeah.
But that's not necessarily how many you want for your first one, because often you don't have quite that much resource. But it's a good way of balancing that energy economy. If it's ticking up, you can always just throw in an extra build tower so long as you've got the metal to support it.
Yeah. T2 labs being reclaimed, top right. Lagging slightly behind. We don't have any of these mixes upgraded here, so 7.5 minutes you really want to see them upgraded. Already an APHIS coming down out of Victor. Yucky or yummy, depending what team you're on. Couple of fusions out of the boys down south. Jellio working well there. Some Kami Ecos, Commander Wedge, all T3, T2 mixes up for this whole corner of the map. That's a lot of sharing down there. That's really good. So the peasant's in quite a handsome position in a few of these corners just with the sharing going on.
For the chat, they're asking at the moment, if you build a unit that costs 100 metal and then reclaim it, you would get 170 metal out of that. And it means that things like your APHIS will produce 170% energy, which means that you've then got more energy to be reclaimed at 170% per converter. So that's how the Kings can scale and get their economies rolling. They tend to end up capped just because of space
Yeah.
at a certain point.
What we are going to put into our Discord shortly is a set of rules of what's deemed acceptable, because there have been a couple breaches here and there, which is all right if you don't know what you're doing, but then sometimes it's just a clear abuse. I mean, but with a game with this plus 70 bonus, it's not really even going to be a thing for the King shortly. Thanks for the follow there, Jay Wilson.
This game is going to play out very differently to the last one.
Oh, what's happening? Yikes. That Chimera is slightly far forward, but it's not in the rule break. Just don't build that close. So Ipsum building that energy storage probably a little bit too close. That's their own problem, really.
Ideally, we like the defenses not to be able to hit the top of those hills.
Maybe you can just put a reminder in it, just to, or just say
Done that.
he's not breaking any rules. Just keep him back enough to not do any damage. Or put them on hold fire until the 10-minute mark. Then go for it. You can do whatever you want. 5 seconds left anyway, so it's not going to be a problem. Are there many
Got
units?
650 units on the map compared to the 100 odd from last game.
Are we going to get a better push out of the peasants? The lava has disappeared.
Yes, we are.
I am going to
We'll
look.
wait until these hit. I reckon right-hand side is going to be where there's going to be plenty of action.
Right, did not build enough units. Oh, there's a ping here from Rosie. You are dead. I do not disagree unless there's an amazing reaction out of the middle. Imperiator New is just so focused on eco, not enough on units. These
Doesn't have the metal to get the units up and
way to
running.
defend this, get this commander in there and just
Combomb.
bomb the units.
You need to try and stop or slow this push, because when they get through, your entire economy is gone and the rest of the team is at a very high risk.
This is what happens when you don't build pork or units and you get too greedy. And now as a result, Platinum Blonde's base is exposed on the left hand side. Similar is happening. So this is a classic example of peasants actually building units. We didn't see it all night. This is fantastic. So despite the amazing eco bonus that the Kings have got, they are now in struggle town. And look at that, they've built units and they're actually managing to defend themselves.
And that's what we often see. If you push at the 10-minute mark, you've got a reasonable chance of making it in, or at least capitalizing on any kind of build discrepancies where they didn't get things up. If you leave it to the 12-minute mark that we're approaching now, they tend to be relatively well covered across the board. Although there's some of those ticks that are still made it in, and they're going to be an absolute menace.
Yeah, Imperiator New down to just 9 metal per second, but being fed by the team who are mostly overflowing, so that keeps them alive. If I was
The lack of build power to make more units is going to be their big issue.
We do have some Recluse coming up here to put pressure on Grumpiness and Sivan, so if those get microed, it could be a problem for these guys.
Good pressure out of the peasants this time around. Despite the fact that the Kings have a nice bonus, the peasants have been very active getting into those bases.
Another big explosion. That's what's behind out the middle. This is what I like to see out of the peasants. And Kings can defend this. It's just you need to build your units a bit earlier. You can't eco too much.
Yeah, greed kills a lot of players.
One thing we don't have here is we don't have the Super King in the middle that's able to react in the right direction. So it's a lot harder.
I don't think they would have been able to do too much this game, because it was
definitely not.
Right side, bottom left, top left have all pushed in and done damage and basically killed the bases. The Super King can't be everywhere all at once, so at least some of these would have made it in no matter what. And because they've had access to the very center of the map, the Super King would likely have lost most of their eco as well.
Yeah, Rosie now trying to cover the rear here. Good reaction out of these hoplites, but unfortunately, I think this Aphis is going to go down to the Decurion. Nope, it's not. Very
good
close.
use of the Gremlins.
Yeah, they're seen. mean, are they going to be able to stop this? These Centurions are just
That's
going to
be
be
the
too
real
much.
question.
If this is
If the
stopped,
Kings can hold, they've got a chance. Although they have lost a few of their number as well.
yeah, this build power needs to reclaim. Rosie doing really well to turn around and help cover these lanes. But what's happening?
And that's
is
what you need to do as part of the Kings, is if someone behind you or next to you falls, you need to be able to cover those gaps. Yes, it might suck to not be able to push out your lane, but keeping the team alive is more important than getting out and dealing damage. Once you stabilize, you can always push again, but you need to be able to stabilize and get your teammates back online to be able to have a chance to push on out.
Yeah, here we go. We're going to see this AFIS go pop, I reckon. 6%, 4%.
Good D gun.
Yeah, that was so close. So watch behind us, just holding on by the skin of their teeth. They haven't covered 2 lanes and they've only got 7 mammoths.
And there's a lot of reclaim there to eat.
Yeah.
If they can get that build power up and running.
If
I
somebody
do love
can...
this LLT. LLTs are great at stopping those couple of ticks that manage to make it through.
Yeah. What I'd love to see is some of the Kings that are doing all right to just
right
be...
hand side. The Scuttle doesn't make it in. It got picked off by the static defense.
We do have a bunch of Decurion here, though. I'd love to see someone building a bunch of res spots and just putting a repeat res command on. Either trying to take out the fusions. Commander getting in there, degunning a couple
Good
of them.
response.
Yeah, with that build power there.
However,
He's doing good now.
the
Like,
pressure is persistent from these peasants.
if the Kings built units about 60 seconds earlier, this wouldn't have happened. And now T3 is online out of Maladay. Bombing up there with Victor.
And this is the huge difference. The Kings this game can't scale because they have to build units to hold off the Horde. If people hadn't pushed in, they would have all been up to multiple APHIS at this point and then been able to come out in a massive way. Whereas putting that pressure on, pushing it 10 minutes, means that you've managed to get the Kings on the back foot and they are scrambling to try and hold.
Yeah.
Doing a good job though, because they're still alive.
Kings
They
got
haven't fallen
greedy.
completely at this point.
There are some sharpshooters here on the right. Actually, where did they go? I thought I saw them. Maybe they died.
Massive ticks in the middle though.
Oh. Yeah, that's going to find.
That is an economy killing number of ticks. And them
There you
splitting
go.
up in every direction to find what they can is going to be absolutely devastating.
Go for the build power before you go for the fusions. Having said that, the fusion is so going down anyway. And there's all the build power for Rosie gone. That's Rosie's base in the bin. Oh,
I think
feel
this
sorry.
is Peasants win.
Yeah. I think
Fantastic pressure this game.
that's
The Kings
a,
have won every other game tonight.
hey, it means I get to go to bed a little bit earlier. I thought this was going to be a longer one, especially with that 70% bonus. One APHIS remaining there. Where is the last arts? Can't see where the last of the Kings is. Odd. It says there's no commanders left. This got get put on never ending.
I think it did. We would like to be able to wrap this up so that we can actually finish the game.
Well, I'm sure we'll see it die pretty quickly here. With just these mammoths left, and then down the bottom right we've got these bastions.
But I think from the point of view of the cast, we'll probably wrap that one here, seeing as the game's finished at this point.
Yeah, I'll get ready to put on raid over to 2 Pumps. Make sure you follow him. It's real good player that lasts most days. Check out his channel, make sure you follow him as well. What is happening? Is this going to finish?
I don't know.
Maybe the remaining Kings can just hit team resign and do the vote. What has happened? Rosie tried. Bugger. unfortunately, we've got a game bug.
Commander self-destructed.
Ah, someone's put it on never ending.
Yeah, that was not us.
Sorry about that, people. Unfortunately, we're going to have to get a forced stop.
Battle ended.
There we go. They've made it happen in the background. Not a worry. Peasants doing it with the units. Kings too greedy. Didn't build enough units for that 10-minute mark, and then once a couple lanes fell, they all fell. You got to make sure you defend your lane. That is your role. If you have a little bit of an economy up and it's an 8-minute mark and you can see a clear line between the peasants and your base, build stuff, build units. Okay, let's change this over to the after party. Alright, Nightmare is going to balance up these teams so they're even and then take us to another map, I believe. We are going to get a raid on 2 pumps. If you're watching on YouTube, that'll be it for tonight. Jump over to the Twitch if you want to keep watching some big games happening. And thank you very much for tuning in, everyone. Please hit that follow or go over to our YouTube and hit the subscribe, both free to do. We appreciate when you watch our content as well. Keeps us motivated to keep this happening. We will see you next Sunday.
Thanks everyone for joining.